Good evening, Mr. Bond, and welcome to my secret lair. Before I kill you, allow me to satisfy your curiosity. Indeed, you guessed correctly. You see, I am a good sportsman, and I do enjoy getting my news from Belly Up Sports. Well, you see, my dear 007, they cover everything from NFL to the bloody NASCAR. Some would describe it as a true internet sports bar, and much like Spectre, they are everywhere. So, for the final moments you have, my dear 007, I suggest you visit bellyupsports.com, click the follow button on the Twitter, and observe their Facebook and Instagram. But now, it's late, I'm tired, and so little time left to achieve world domination. Goodbye, Mr. Bond.
Alrighty, guys, what's up? It's Justin. We're here for another episode of Baseball and Whatever. Episode 32. I have Greg, who, as you heard right there, just transformed into somebody from Bond. I don't know who, which I know we're losing followers as I say that.
How did we get Blofeld to do that?
Was that who that was? Well done, Greg. And then obviously there's Vinnie, too, by the way.
So more specific, I think that was Charles Gray Blofeld, which was intentionally camp. But
very well done. I'm thinking all of our ad reads are going to have to be done as other characters from now on. I think that's the direction we're going to have to go.
The trend here.
I think so.
Yeah, and with some of our impersonations, I'm sure they'll go great. That was good though. Thank you, Greg. So yeah, we are this is episode 32. Welcome if you are finding us for the first time. We are Baseball and Whatever. Our first segment tonight is obviously we'll talk a little bit about baseball, some of the awards were put out there this week for the Rookie of the Year and MVP and things like that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the free agent movings and signings and dealings that are going on. And then Greg graciously gathered a bunch of information based on the new Obi-Wan Kenobi show that's going to be on Disney Plus. The little teaser trailer went out this week, so I finally watched it. I know we all watched it, so we'll talk a little bit about that briefly. And then we'll get to our whatever topic, which is the best 80s movies, which was actually a lot more difficult than I thought. There's a lot of 80s movies I like. Yeah. So
a lot of great ones.
Yeah. So stick around for that. Or if you don't like baseball, skip to that segment. I'll have the markings in the description of the episode. You can skip right to it if you choose. But before we get to any of that, first of all, this is episode 32. Can you guys think of any famous 32s?
Oh, I honestly got a list of them.
Think of any. I knew Vinnie had a list, but I couldn't think of any.
All right, well,
you can't think of any.
I got some for a couple Cubs come to mind.
I'm sure this is gonna I
don't know your recent, but John Lieber, I think was 32.
God, yeah,
and Latroy Hawkins.
I try and
your
forget
guy
Latroy.
Vinny. And I think for 1 year, I think he's still playing in Indy somewhere. Daryl Ward.
I liked Daryl Ward.
Yeah,
he was Randall Simon 2.0.
He was.
They tried to make him that.
For the White Sox, Gavin Sheets.
Yep.
Gavin Sheet. Where's it now? Adam Dunn wore it for a little bit, and whatchamacallit. What's his face? He used to pitch. Kip Wells. Those are the 30. Oh, and Dustin Hermanson from the 05 team.
Wait, Kip Wells? I forgot Kip Wells was on the White Sox.
Yeah, Kip Wells.
Oh God, I forgot. I just remember him on the Pirates.
Yeah, early 2000s. I think.
Wow.
On the White Sox,
that's
late
going
90s,
back a ways.
So I believe those were the 32s, but I think Vinny has been.
You missed out on a couple. I'm kind of disappointed in you, Greg. For Cubs,
for the White Sox,
you got one
for the Cubs,
for the White Sox,
a 32 recent or
older.
Hall
of Famer.
Hall of Famer war 32
for the notable White Sox boob that I don't like.
Oh,
noble White Sox boob you don't like?
Yeah,
there's so many of them.
They're worth it. I'm stumped, Vinny.
Steve Stone.
See, I like Steve Stone. He doesn't bother me.
You're not a Steve Stone guy, Vinny?
He's an idiot. No, he went on 670 The Score and told Bernstein that they need to get rid of video replay because the game shouldn't be 100% correct.
Okay, well,
did he really say that?
Yes, he did really say that. And Bernstein was just in shock. What are you talking about? I get it if you're going to say it's slowing down the game, but to complain that they're it's there to get the call right, even if it is as close as he got a part of his shirt. That's the right call. Again, that's why I don't like him. Plus, when he's on Twitter, he speaks in absolutes, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is true.
The playoffs, he was like, well, if the White Sox win one more game, then they'll have 2 games left to go. And people are like, yeah, but they're not going to win one more. He goes, well, what did I say is incorrect? It's like, dude, let people be upset about how they're playing because they're playing like garbage right now.
Yeah, I do remember that.
He speaks in absolutes and acts like he's the Jesus Christ of White Sox fandom. Yeah, he's very, very obnoxious. Steve Carlton also wore 32 for the White Sox.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice.
Brian Anderson also.
I remember Brian Anderson. Yeah, he also wore 44 for the White Sox. Were both numbers.
And also now Cubs, Trace Thompson.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I remember him as 28. Maybe he wore 32 also. He think he wore a bunch of different numbers. So
could be.
Sounds right.
Well, I will definitely have some 33s, but what do you got? What else you got for the Cubs, Vinnie?
For the Cubs, Michael Hermosillo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who? Tyler Chatwood. Michael Hermosillo is a new
prospect.
Guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tyler Chatwood.
I try to forget about him. Yeah.
Ugh. Brian Dunsing. He was good.
I remember Brian.
He was
Dunsing.
Okay. He was all right.
John Lieber, as Greg had said, and Milt Pappas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. All right. Cool.
Do you guys have any Bears 32?
I got a Bears one that comes.
All right.
I this is the number 32. Like, this is a big one for me. One of my favorite players, Cedric Benson.
Yes.
Was 32. Yeah. So that guy was a beast.
Khalil Bell also.
Oh, yeah.
Montgomery, Edgar Bennett.
Oh, yeah. Dave Montgomery.
Lemuel Lemonhead Stinson for older Bear fans out there.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Interesting.
Justin, Blackhawks?
No. Who do you got?
Kevin Lankinen?
Oh, he's their current backup goalie to Marc-Andre Fleury. He was really good last year as their goalie. Okay, yeah.
Michael Roosevelt?
Yes, Stanley Cup winner. He stuck around forever.
Chris Versteeg?
Chris Versteeg, yes.
Oh, wow.
Steve Thomas?
I remember Steve Thomas. They called him Stumpy. Yep, I remember him.
Pavel Vorobiev.
Oh, Pavel Vorobiev. Oh, he was.
Yeah, there you go.
He was this Russian.
I butchered that one.
It was this Russian kid that came in, and he actually was pretty good, but the Hawks kind of mismanaged him, and his not mugshot, but the image that they take before the season, he had the strongest unibrow. Like, he looked like Dracula. That's kind of what he looked like with the unibrow. So yeah, I forgot he was 32. That was a very dark time in Blackhawks fandom because they were awful.
04 to 06.
Oh God, that was when you could get a college ID, go there and get a $15 ticket for $8 and sit in the stadium.
Nice.
I did that a lot.
Murray Craven from 95 to 97.
God. Yeah, he was one of my favorites as a kid.
I like that name.
Him the Canucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Wow. Good pull.
I think I got one Bulls guy.
There we go. No, go ahead.
I was going to say Will Purdue, who does like pre and post, was 32.
That's right. That's right.
For like a long time. He was like a long time 32 for the.
During the 90s.
Yes.
The 80s and 90s.
80s and 90s. Yep. Will Purdue.
Very cool.
I have 3 more Bulls. Chris Dunn.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmer Fredette.
Oh, my God. Forgot about him.
And I forgot he was on the Bulls, too. And then Richard Rip Hamilton.
Oh, my God. I forgot.
I forgot he was on the Bulls, too.
Yeah. Wow.
God.
Wow.
God, the Bulls had both Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton.
Yeah.
They just weren't as good as they were when they were on the Pistons, right?
No, they got them past their prime.
I gotta say though, I've watched so much Bulls basketball the last couple nights. It is so much fun to watch a good basketball team. Like good, I forgot how much I enjoy the NBA.
I think I gotta get in on that.
You should. It's really, especially the last 2 games against the Clippers and the Lakers, they were unbelievable. It was a lot of fun. So
we've uncovered a lot of 32.
Wait, man, that is why Vinnie
this is dangerous.
Yeah, yes. Holy cow, Murray Craven. I'm gonna have to go. I think I probably have his hockey card upstairs still. All right. Well, before we get to our baseball talk, we're gonna talk about some messages we got on our text line and our email and YouTube comments and tweets. And if you want to write into the show, you can do so by emailing us at baseballwhatever@gmail.com, or use the official Belly Up Sports email, which is baseballwhateverpodcast@bellyupsports.com. You can also tweet us at baseball and what. Leave us a comment on Facebook at facebook.com/baseballwhatever. And you can also text our new fresh spanking new text line, which is 913-808-3278 or 913-808-FART. There we go. I was waiting for this. There we go. All right. Vinny, you want to tell us what we got on the text line this week?
Yeah. Roy from Skokie checked in again. He said, "Hey guys, great episode last week. And thanks for responding to my text." No problem, Roy. We
just keep sending.
Keep sending them. We will respond all the time. He says, "Greg, thanks for explaining the difference between the two pitches. I was always told they were pretty much the same."
I was glad that was coherent.
Yeah, right. Then he goes on to say, "I wanted to bring up that I was looking on MLB trade rumors, and they predicted that Trevor Story would be signing a 6-year, $126 million deal. They think the Phillies, Rangers, or Astros are the teams that will sign him. What do you guys think about that contract?"
Fuck, give me him for 6 years.
I was going to say,
126.
that doesn't sound that bad.
21 per year.
Good God, give me that.
Yeah, I think the Cubs and the White Sox should be in on that.
Yeah,
White Sox for sure. But looking at the teams, I don't think the Phillies or the Rangers the Rangers maybe. Are the Rangers competing?
See, the thing about the Rangers is I hear all these you hear all the free agent rumors, like, oh yeah, like even Castellanos can put like just random power hitters are like predicting going to the Rangers. I'm like, where are they going?
I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. That organization doesn't seem like it's very well run, at least from an outside perspective.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
But and they have two younger guys. Their shortstop was actually pretty good. He put up a 3.7 WAR last year, but his OPS plus was 85, so not very good offensively. And their second baseman wasn't really good, but they're both young. And their second baseman's locked up till 2026, and the shortstop's locked up till 2024. The Phillies, they have Didi Gregorius and Gene Segura.
Well,
and they're both locked up through 2022.
Well, Segura plays second, and
I know. Well,
Didi is actually
he's a shortstop.
Yeah, but if I hear Phillies rumors for Story too, and Didi Gregorius is terrible. Yeah, and I know the Phillies probably want to. I think I wouldn't be surprised.
He was good with the Yankees.
Yeah, I thought so.
But I think with the Phillies, Didi's got to be. I mean, last year he's got to be negative WAR player. So that makes a lot of sense for a team trying to compete. Story going there for power, but I mean. The Rangers, though, I don't know what they're doing. So, but I guess Story would be an upgrade over those two guys. But like you said, they're young. So, I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. Gregorius was a negative 0.8 WAR player.
Okay. So he was. Yeah. He was.
That would be an upgrade. And then, the Astros also, I think that makes probably the most sense.
Yeah, there's an actual
vacancy there.
But there's not a player there right now. So.
Yep. Yeah. But I would say Astros, Phillies, and then Rangers. I'm shocked on the Rangers.
That's not. I've heard a lot of free agent Rangers like ties. I'm like, really? Well, okay, I guess. Weird. I don't know. So whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks, Roy.
But that's it for the. Yeah, thank you, Roy, for texting in. That was a good little nugget there. So
that's
all we have from the text line, though.
Keep them coming, Roy, and tell your friends or family or whoever else is. I know he said he's based out of Skokie, so tell your friends to check in and listen, and we'll keep shouting you out. You'll be famous. At least in our mind, you will be.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna jump to our emails, tweets, and YouTube comments. We got a couple for Greg. So, Greg, what do you got for us?
Tony from Facebook. In relation to 90s cartoons, 2 words: rocket power. There you go. Definitely.
Rocket Power was good.
Yeah.
I really liked Sam Squid. I think they called him Squid. He was the white kid that was a goalie, kind of uncoordinated, kind of nerdy.
Yeah, I watched it. I don't remember the characters.
Reminded me of myself a little bit. So
that name sounded that was right.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm trying to think when that would have came out I think that came out in 99. I think I was in middle school going into high school. So I was like right on the cusp of being done with Nickelodeon for the most part. But I remember watching a lot of that, and I still watch some of those. I think Erica has the box set on DVD that we still pop in occasionally.
They have a box set of Rocket Power.
Yeah, of course they do.
Love the box sets.
The box set's the way to go. So anyway, sorry, Greg. Keep going.
Go ahead. Coffee from YouTube, big fan. Coffee, in relation to more hairstyles and MLB The Show and MLB The Show comment. They're still coming. Glad you still enjoy those videos. I'm pretty sure we'll be hearing announcements for the new game.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
Anyway, Coffee says longer hairstyles would be cool. I'd love a hairstyle in the game like Harrison Bader. That's interesting, Coffee, because I mean I gotta go back and look, but I recall there being like a lot of longer hairstyles. Maybe they're just not as great. I don't know. I had to Google a picture of Harrison Bader because I didn't know what his hair looked like. So yeah, I don't know. You're probably right, Coffee. I hope for 22. I hope they put one in there for you, bud. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if you wanna check out, Greg put a ton of MLB The Show 21 YouTube videos from his PS5 on our YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out. I literally think that's our most hit video. I mean, a couple of those videos have like 5,000 to 6,000 views now, I think I want to say. So hopefully those people stick around and listen to the podcast. But
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think they're just there for one thing and one thing only.
Yep. So that's all right.
They're moving on.
That's it.
Erica emails in with a question for me. Greg, what are your thoughts on The Rock wanting to be the next James Bond? So if you guys don't already know, The Rock actually has ties to the James Bond universe. His grandfather was in 1967's You Only Live Twice. I forget his name, but he had a fight. He had a really cool fight scene with Sean Connery. So that's kind of the Bond tie right there. As far as the Dwayne playing James Bond, no fucking way. Sorry.
I don't want to see him trying to do a British accent.
And that is nothing against The Rock. I think The Rock's fantastic. I don't want him anywhere near the Bond movies because
he doesn't look like James Bond.
He doesn't. I wouldn't even want him playing a villain, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, so I could see him being a villain.
That would just take me out of the movie too much. And I thought that was going to happen with. Yeah, I think so. And I thought that was going to happen with Batista in Spectre, but it didn't. Mainly probably because they didn't give him any speaking lines because he's a shitty actor. But his presence though was just enough. But with The Rock, I mean, you kind of want to hear him do his thing. So no, do something else.
Now I'm just picturing him like Chip Cheerio, Fish and Chips, 007. I don't know any other.
Is that a British accent?
No.
Where was this going?
Today, no, that's Australian. I don't know.
Chip Cheerio.
No, never mind. I'm gonna steer.
He does look good in that pink tux, though. I put a picture on the.
Yeah, where's that?
For those of you, I don't know.
Moana.
Oh, maybe.
He looks great.
It looks like Jumanji. The back of the letters look like Jumanji.
Oh, that's right. Good detective work, Vinny.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, great. He looks good in that, though.
Yeah. All right. Well,
anywho,
keep the questions, comments, tweets, keep text, keep those all coming in. We'll keep talking about them. But first, before we get to our socks and Cub stuff, because there's not too much here. We are going to talk a little bit about the hot stove because it's hot stove season. There's a lot of wheeling and dealings going on with baseball general managers right now. Free agents are starting to sign. Qualifying offers are being sent out and then rejected or not being sent out at all, which has seemed to be the case this year. So the first one we have is Brandon Belt of the San Francisco Giants was the only player to accept his qualifying offer. So I'm assuming, will stay in San Francisco this upcoming season for at least one more year.
Yes, he will.
He was one of the free agents. I was kind of thinking I wouldn't mind him on the Cubs.
You brought him up before. Jeff.
As a temporary first baseman if Schwindel doesn't pan out, but clearly that is not an option now. The other big signing this week that I thought was pretty funny was Bob Nightingale. I think it was 2 days ago or 3 days ago at this point, tweeted out. If you don't know who Bob Nightingale is, he is the baseball beat reporter for the USA Today, I believe. USA Today.
Yeah,
yep.
You're right.
And he's just, I don't know. I think our stance on him on this podcast is he's kind of a dope. He doesn't seem to get right very often. And he tweeted out that, the White Sox are interested in Verlander. And then no sooner did he tweet that out, I'd say a couple hours later, Verlander went and signed with the Astros. So
Thanks, Bob.
Nightingale's sources are bullshit again. In terms of money, Verlander signed 1 year, $25 million for 2022, and a player opt-out in 23 for another $25 million. So it's crazy to think that a pitcher of his age is almost getting $50 million for 2 years, but I guess that's the market for starting pitching, right? Like, I don't know. And to think he wanted to be a Cub like 4 years ago.
He's 39 coming off of Tommy John.
Oh God, what were they thinking?
That's a lot of money.
That's really dumb. Are they paying that money just so Kate Upton's around? I don't understand.
Well, yeah, that's part of the deal, I think.
Yeah,
right.
I know it sounds crazy, guys. I would have done it. I would have been okay with it. Yeah, I would have been okay with it.
But as a contender, I mean, it makes sense as a contender. Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't make sense for a team like the Cubs to
not now.
On that.
No, God, no, not for the Cubs. Not at this point. No, I'd be like, what the fuck you doing? But,
God, no. So I mean, I guess good for him. I'll be curious to see if the Astros can hang on and make another run next season, or if their window is starting to close. I don't know, because we'll talk about a little bit later that they're starting to lose some of their free agents already. So might be kind of diminishing returns there. Eduardo Rodriguez signed a 5-year, $77 million contract with the Detroit Tigers. He maxes out at $80 million with incentives, and he's got an opt-out after 2 seasons. So I guess the Tigers are ready to make a push. They're ready to go back all in and be a contender in the AL Central. Is that what you guys are taking away from that?
Yeah, that's what I'm taking, because the division is it's really just the White Sox now. I mean, the White Sox kind of hopefully solidify that first spot. You don't know what the Indians and Royals are doing. Twins, who the hell knows? But Tigers didn't do too bad. I think they probably, I don't know if exceeds expectations is the right word, but definitely did better than projected. And with Correa on the market, I think they want to kind of reunite him, or they want to reunite him with Hinch, and they do have an opening at shortstop, and I think they're ready to spend, big money right after they got Cabrera coming off the books in a couple of years. He's still got a couple of years on that deal. So, I think they're gonna make a push for him, but it's really gonna come down to the money with him, especially with the Yankees and looking for a shortstop too. And Correa obviously want to be a really good fit over there, big market, big city. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, Eduardo, lefty from the Red Sox, comes over, kind of like a guy to solidify their rotation a little bit, who's been which has kind of been in shambles. But they got some young players. So, the Tigers are always another pesky team for the White Sox. So yeah, should be interesting. But yeah, pretty big money for him.
Are you thinking the Twins will be somewhere in there too this year, Greg?
I hope not. I hope they just piss out again and just decommission themselves. So
but old Rocco Baldelli is going to lead them to the promised land.
Oh yeah, he's still around, isn't he? He's still employed, and they just signed Jace Tingler to be their bench coach, Mr. Terminated Padres manager.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Whatever they see in him. So I don't
know there, but Jose Berrios of the Toronto Blue Jays signed a 7-year, $131 million extension for them. What do you guys think about that signing? Too much, too little, just right?
Team friendly. That guy's really good.
Yeah,
he is.
It's exciting. I think between him and I know we've talked about there are other younger guys that are starting to come up now. You have Bo Bichette and
Kevin Biggio, Vlad
Guerrero Jr. I mean, those guys coming up together. I think it's cool to have another younger guy extended for the long term. So we'll have to see. I mean, I always like it when the AL East is more competitive and it's not just Boston and the Yankees.
Plus they spent big on Springer the year before. Yeah. We'll see if they bring Ray back, and they still have Hinge and Ryu somewhere in the weeds.
That's right.
I mean, they pretty much had. I mean, if it wasn't for Ohtani, they pretty much had the Cy Young and the MVP. In the bag. I mean, that's serious stuff right there.
And I believe Robbie Ray. I know he declined his qualifying offer too, so he's a free agent now too. So, and then the other one, signing with the the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, I believe is their full title. I can never keep track of that.
The
stupid
Anaheim
thing.
Angels of Los Angeles.
Yeah, whatever. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, is that it? Maybe I think that might be it. Anyway,
California Angels.
Yeah.
Good old Noah Syndergaard, Thor signed a 1-year, $21 million prove-it deal. The Angels finally have some more starting pitching besides Shohei Ohtani. So are you thinking that they might be contenders eventually? You think they'll sign more people? What's your take on the Angels? Or is this just for show and they will be at the bottom of the barrel and waste another year of Trout and Ohtani's life in LA/Anaheim/Los Angeles? Of Anaheim.
You almost have to default to the latter,
Yeah.
Like they haven't earned the benefit of the doubt, It's sad. It's terrible. The two best players in baseball.
Short of that kid from the movie coming out and standing in left field and going like this, I don't see them doing anything. They're, they need Angels in the outfield.
We talked about Syndergaard. He's great, but he could get hurt again for whatever.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched a full season since 202019.
No.
Yeah,
he's another guy.
It seems like forever ago,
And he's had injury issues before then too.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a lot of money for a prove-it deal for a guy with a lot of injuries.
But he even bet on himself with the prove it, and he declined the qualifying and got a couple more million on his plate. So we'll see. Hopefully, he does well, but you don't know what the Angels.
The Angels are just so desperate, aren't they? They just make all these. They throw a lot of money around it, and it just at bad places. It never works out.
Never does. And don't forget they got Rendon too.
That's right.
He done so, and they paid him big money.
I would love to hear like Joe Madden's press conferences, like him trying to sell on how they're going to be a better team this year, and
he doesn't have to.
No,
they have
like
a lot of angry fans out there.
I don't think so. Are there Angels fans in general? I don't even know. Like I know there's.
If they're just stoned. So
yeah.
Like I feel like even when Joe Madden was the manager of the Cubs, like I loved his whole shtick for like a good 3 years or so, and then by the 4th and 5th year, I was kind of starting to be done with it. I'm like, all right, just tell me what's going to happen. Don't try and spin this. I don't need circus animals at the field before day games. I'll be curious to see what the window of his before they kind of say, all right, well, we're good, Joe. You can see yourself out now. But because he's going on what, year 3, year 4 of his deal? I want to say year 3,
year
maybe
2,
3,
3. Okay,
3.
Thought it was 2.
It'll be year 3.
Okay,
he started in
COVID
pandemic year.
The short season
3. Yep.
So I mean, like realistically, if they don't start to play well, now granted they don't have a great team anyway, but if they don't start to play well this season, like at some point they're gonna just kick him out, right? Like they'll bring somebody else in.
I think 2020 he gets a pass.
Yeah, I guess I can see that.
A lot of people get a pass for that. I mean, Ross is getting a pass.
Yeah, another guy that I don't know if he deserves it, but all right. Well, we will keep track of the hot stove stuff going on for baseball season. If we have any more breaking stuff. Oh, Greg.
Yes.
We have a new outfielder for the White Sox. I'm just checking Twitter right now.
Oh, do we have breaking news on baseball?
Breaking White Sox news. New center fielder Adam Eaton.
Funny guy. Funny guy. If I went over there, Justin, you'd be in big trouble.
I'm kidding. There's no breaking news. Sox aren't getting anybody. Who am I kidding?
Well, now you got to make up something. Something good.
All right. Breaking news.
Simeon. Sox and Chris Bryant.
Oh God. Speaking of Chris Bryant, I saw a thing on Twitter. He was at like a gathering. He zoomed into some like kids baseball and softball, and some little girl came up and said, how can I be a good softball player and be a good person like you, Chris? And the little girl starts crying because she's so excited to talk to Chris Bryant, and he gives this really heartfelt response. I'm like, man, we didn't know what we had when he was here. He was such a good guy.
I heard
kind of injury prone, but
I heard the Giants were not impressed with him.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I heard they don't want him back. Like, I'm sure he's a good guy, but
not necessarily on the baseball field. Oh, yeah.
I
don't know. We shall see. Greg, before we go on to the Cubs, you got any White Sox stuff or no?
I don't really. I mean, the Verlander thing was funny. It was kind of comical.
Yeah, that was really good.
Was that tweet you guys texted, the not Bob Nightingale thing with all those returning or those free agent White Sox?
I got on that one. Yeah.
That was also funny too. I'm like, yeah, that was. I think Simeon's the only guy I want out of that to reunite with. So.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see where he ends up. All right. Well, let's transition to the Cubs. And I'm actually optimistic right now about the Cubs, which is not something that happens very often for me. I know.
Shocking.
Plan the parade.
Who are you?
I don't know who I am. I have a child and everything changes.
Everything changes. Well, I had a question for you guys. And I saw this on an article on the Googles. So Jed says they're spending money, which is what they should do, just like everyone.
Yeah.
What are your guys' take on the Seager boys? I'm talking Corey and Kyle. One's a shortstop, one's a third baseman. So I've got 2 points I want you guys to comment on. Would you go $300 million for Corey Seager, or would you go Kyle Seager as an upgrade over what's his name? Who's the third baseman?
Wisdom.
Maybe give him 14, 15 million a year, couple years, 2 years, 30. What do you guys think about those two? Give me your takes on the Seager boys, if you have any.
I mean, Kyle Seager, not a, if I'm remembering his
stats 34.
34.
He's been on the decline.
Yeah, I'm looking at his. He's got a career 321 on base. Last year, his on base percentage was a 285. Yeah. He's, if we're looking at batting average, he's never been a good consistent hitter. He's never batted above 278, and that was one season in 2016. So he's not a big strikeout. Not a big strikeout guy, though.
His brother's better. I mean, he still strikes out, but
if you could get him cheap enough, I guess I would take it. Just my biggest concern is
not an upgrade.
No, he's not an upgrade by any means. But I guess my biggest concern is
he's a veteran.
He's a vet.
Do anything for you?
Yeah. Is it better to have someone though that could just fill in case Patrick Wisdom's wheels fall off, and that was kind of just a magical.
That's what David Bodie's for.
Oh, I don't know if I want David Bodie anymore either, though.
Well, I mean, for the money too, you can always start Wisdom and have Kyle as corner utility. I don't know if that entices you at all.
Not really.
Now,
it doesn't entice me, but I just
it doesn't. And if people are saying that, you need to get him in order to get his brother, let's not try to go down the White Sox.
No, that's not going to work.
I can tell you firsthand that does not
work. So, and then you're left with Yonder Alonso. So
for all we know, they hate each other. So
yeah.
So what about Corey for $300 million? Which
I would love Corey Seager,
that
but
he's getting, so
not at $300 million. I don't know about you, Vinny. That just seems like way too much for a guy that, yes, he's got a great on base percentage, but he's not really a run producer. He's not, he doesn't really walk that much. He doesn't strike out a lot either, which is good, but I don't know. That just seems like a gross overpayment. He had
145 OPS last year.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Career 131. So he's a good player.
Yeah.
At a prime position.
Mm-hmm.
He's not as good defensively as he is with the bat.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what they think of their shortstops. They have a ton of shortstops in the system.
Yeah.
I don't know if locking down somebody for $300 million for, I'm guessing, probably 10 years.
Yeah.
If they're going to do that, if that's the route they're going to take, or if they're going to get one of the old, go for Trevor Story.
Yeah.
And go for, 5 to 6 years and, have it where they can dump them when they have somebody younger coming up. I have no idea what their plan is. They haven't said what their plan is. They said that they don't know what their plan is until the new CBA gets done, which doesn't sound like that's happening anytime soon.
But do you do it? Do you do it?
Do I do it?
You're in the driver's seat, Vinny.
You are
in charge.
If I'm in charge, I'd do it. Yeah, sure. I'd offer him that. But again, I would also need to be looking at getting a lot of starting pitching. So can I get him with the starting pitching to be very competitive? I don't know. But yeah, sure. I guess I would offer him that. I would do that. He's a good enough player to do that. He's young enough where he's still in his prime. So yeah, I'd do that.
Personally, I think that's way over market for him. I'd do it if that's what it takes to get him, but I'd be shitting bricks because I know he's injury prone too. So
that's also what worries me.
I mean, I would bet, and I don't have the stats in front of me. I bet if you took Corey Seager, Carlos Correa, and Trevor Story, I guess the top 3 free agent shortstops, and you kind of look at their projected, salaries, I think they're saying Corey and Correa are in the 300 range. I think that's been reported everywhere. Roy told us earlier that Story was getting 126 or something, whatever that was.
Yeah.
If you pull their stats together, they can't be that dissimilar from each other. They all have to be within a pretty close range to one another. So that is, and I've said earlier on the pod that Trevor Story is very intriguing, and he'd be my choice for the Cubs shortstop.
Yeah,
especially if it's 126 is a real thing.
Oh, compared to 300, yeah.
I would love to know the comps on the 3 of those guys, like where they rank with one another. I would think
career wise, close.
Yeah, career wise.
Okay, let's see here. Stories, batting average for the career 272, Seager's 297, on base Story 340, Seager 367. Slugging, Story 523, Seager 504, OPS for Story 863, Seager 870, and OPS plus for Story career 112, Seager 131, as I stated earlier. So Seager's by far ahead of him looking at OPS plus. That's because of where Story plays. Correa, let's see here.
Story's got to have more home runs than Seager, though. RBIs, if you look
I would think
if you look at that stuff.
Yes.
I would think a higher WAR too. If you count defense.
WAR's not that far off. 26.7 to for Story, and Seager's at 21.3. So not that far off. But he does have he is at 54 more home runs. Story does compared to Seager. And RBIs 450 for Story, 364 for Seager.
Story's got the power.
Yeah. Well, he also plays in Denver. Half of his games in Denver.
Yeah, that's something else to keep in mind.
That's why his OPS plus is.
I think I'm believing less and less in that, to tell you the truth. I don't know if this is. I know OPS plus is a thing, but it's like I'd really love to deep dive. There needs to be more deep diving into this than there is. Just my opinion.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so Seager's ahead, but when you factor in the numbers, like when you're talking about the difference of hundreds of millions here, if that is true, I think
I'd probably go with Story.
Yeah. I think
I think I would too.
That's weird. I don't know. Because there's just Seager's clearly ahead, but it's not like that much, except for like OPS. What'd you say? Story? I just got like 20 more points. Seager has
112 to 131.
Okay. All right.
So
that is higher, but it's not so bad. So
could be
interesting.
Worse. But yeah, that 6 for 120, or what was that?
125, 126. Yeah. Woof.
I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
300 million. Because that would leave a lot of room to get that pitching that the Cubs need. So
yes. Sure. Oh God, I hope their pitching's better than last season. All right, Vinny, I'm very curious. You put on the outline. The Cubs fans are already pissing me off this out season. Please, the floor is yours, sir.
We're what now? 2 weeks into free agency?
Yes, just about. Yeah.
I'm already seeing on Twitter people complaining and whining at the fact that the Cubs haven't signed anybody yet. I've seen it already. And the 3 big signings were Noah Syndergaard going to the Angels.
Nobody wanted him here. Yeah.
Re-signing with Astros and
Barrios, right?
No, that was
an extension.
Oh, that was an extension.
So it was the guy with Detroit.
Eduardo Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Those are the three big ones. And then there were like some small deals being made. I think I saw Manny Pena getting a 2-year, $8 million deal, I think, with the Braves.
With the Braves, yeah. Yeah, the catcher. Yeah.
Who are you guys wanting right now? Do you really... Yeah. Do you want Noah Syndergaard? Who? I mean, if they signed him, I'd be like, okay, oh, cool. I wasn't like, oh, that's the guy they got to get. Verlander too. These aren't guys that okay, yeah, they're take a chance on them, maybe guys, but not for the money that they got. Are you kidding me? No, spend it where it actually matters. Get somebody like Stroman. Get actual players. And I don't get where, 3 guys go off the market and then people are already complaining, well, the Cubs aren't spending. Oh, the front office lied to us. First of all, Jed said that they were going to spend, but spend smartly, which means you're not going to be the first one into the market.
No, you're going to
let the market set. So yeah, they're going to wait. That's what was going to happen. What did you think they were going to do? Just show up everywhere at the top free agents and just dump money at them? No, that's not what was going to happen. He said that wasn't going to happen. They were going to spend smart. They weren't just going to throw money around. It's already annoying me. We're 2 weeks into it. And
Vinny, I hate to tell you,
off season.
Cubs Twitter and Twitter in general, you will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. That'll be a callback later when we get to the Obi-Wan stuff. But anyway,
we must be cautious.
Never mind. I was gonna try something. Never mind.
You're gonna try an accent?
I was gonna try an impersonation of Obi-Wan. We're not gonna do that though. All right. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Greg so graciously put together all of the off-season awards. Before we do that though,
I was gonna say we got some trivia.
I have a trivia question for you guys, and if you know this isn't as difficult as some of yours, so I will preface that by saying you might be able to figure this out relatively quickly. Are you ready? Hold on. I got it saved on my phone. All right. I'm going to give you, your goal is to figure out which player this is. I'm going to give you this player's stat lines. I shouldn't say stat lines. His batting average and his strikeouts against 5 really, really good pitchers. And you got to tell me which batter this is or which hitter this is. Okay. Does that make sense?
It's the same guy.
No, this person is not currently in the league anymore. It's just you have to figure out who it is.
Okay.
You'll be able to figure out the time frame from the pitchers. All right, here we go. So against John Smoltz, this player batted .462 and had 1 strikeout in his career against John Smoltz. Versus Greg Maddux, this hitter had a .429 batting average and 0 strikeouts. Against Tom Glavine, this hitter had a .312 batting average and 2 strikeouts in his career against him. I totally forgot about this guy. Oral Hershiser, if you guys remember him, he had a .321 batting average against Hershiser and only had 2 strikeouts. And then against Nolan Ryan, this hitter had a .302 average and only had 9 strikeouts in his entire career against him. Who is this mystery hitter?
Greg, do you mind if I try to take a shot?
No, go ahead. All right,
who is it, Vinny?
I'm gonna guess this based on your love.
Oh shit! Okay,
guy.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn.
You are correct. It is Tony Gwynn. I saw that on Twitter and I'm like, oh, that's a good little trivia question. And then I forgot that I always, glow about Tony Gwynn. So,
yep. And then that Maddux, the Maddux quote.
The Maddux quote. That famous quote from Maddux is one of my favorites about, it's something along the lines of the human eye cannot really tell the difference between a 95 mile an hour fastball and a 75 mile an hour changeup. I can't remember how it goes. And he goes, you know what? You guys keep talking. I got to look. Never mind. I'll look up the quote. I'll put the quote in the show notes. I already screwed up the quote.
So was Correa dissing Derek Jeter? He said he didn't deserve any
of his Gold Gloves.
I think you're the one that dug this up though, Vinny, aren't you? You found the defensive metrics on Jeter, and you're kind of you've kind of proven this already. So
and it blew my mind how everybody came to Jeter's defense about that. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, Correa's kind of annoying, isn't he?
He is.
Oh yeah,
God,
yeah.
Like. I saw that article. I'm like, what? Just shut up. Like, why are we even talking about that?
I already did that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to the podcast and you were
exactly.
But I saw that he complained about it, but then everybody got, got upset and up in arms about, how can he disrespect the great Derek Jeter? I'm like, but he's not wrong. Derek Jeter wasn't a good defense. I mean, he won Gold Gloves, sure, but I think they were more by default on who he was and playing for the Yankees than his actual statistics.
Yep. Yes.
Because he had big plays too. I think we brought up like that was a big thing too. Like when he did well, like it was a big play postseason moment.
I'm just thinking of that game against the A's where he
that's the one that comes to mind.
Flips it, which
he's like, "Oh, give him the Gold Glove for life," that sort of mentality.
I'm sure there's a little bit of Yankee bias there too. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah.
Carlos Correa just needs to go away. Like sign, play baseball, do well. You're a good baseball player. I think you're an asshole, but play baseball, do well, and shut up.
On the other side of it, I'm kind of glad baseball has an enemy though.
Yeah. I
got a guy to root against a little, especially if he ends up on the Yankees.
And
I really hope he goes there.
Yeah.
I immediately take back everything I said about Derek Jeter. He wants $340 million, which is more than Lindor, which I don't think he's worth that. Do you guys think he's worth that? I don't.
It's hard.
He's better than Lindor.
He is better than Lindor. I'll give him that, but
I don't think anyone is worth them.
No, I don't think anyone is worth.
Like just in that perspective. But I think there's a pretty good chance he gets it.
Someone will pay. Someone will pay.
Yep.
So
the Yankees will.
Yeah, exactly.
Greg, real quick, do you want to run through the awards coverage that we have so far?
Awards coverage. We covered it a couple weeks ago, so we'll do a quick follow-up. Gabe Kapler won NL Manager of the Year. A big surprise.
Yeah, I didn't see
Kevin
that one.
Cash wins AL Manager of the Year. Boring. Interesting fact, he wrote out 158 different lineup combos in 162 games. Wow. I
wonder how many I was going to say, how many did Joe Madden do?
I was like, did he beat Joe Madden's record?
Must have.
What was it? The Cubs, they had the most what was the stat? I forgot the stat that I had this year on that, but they had like the most was it pitchers or something like that? God, I can't remember that stat, but
I remember you doing something.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
David Ross had to do that by default.
Yeah. It was more necessity, not because he wanted to.
Right. Jonathan India and Randy Rosarina win Rookie of the Years. We pretty much saw that one coming, even though we don't really watch any of those guys. Congrats to them. Well deserved. Getting a Cy Young right here. Corbin Burns takes the Cy Young home from the Brewers. Robbie Ray, I think we saw that one coming. I remember our prediction show. I remember I had Zach Wheeler taken out. I remember what you guys had.
Mm-hmm. I had Jacob DeGrom.
You had DeGrom. And, we're going to get to that in 1 second. Hold on 1 second right there. Let's cover the American League first. Robbie Ray, I mean, it kind of walks away with it pretty much. 29 first place votes. But a couple of 4 White Sox ended up getting votes for Cy Young. In third place, Lance Lynn. Got 11 third place votes. He finishes with 48 points. Rodon finished 5th. Liam Hendricks finished 8th, and Lucas Giolito finished 11th. So 4 guys from the White Sox got Cy Young.
Nice,
awesome.
First place, though, guys. Well, whatever. Yeah. And in the end, this one was much closer, guys. So Corbin Burns, point total, he got 12 first place votes. So did Zach Wheeler, but he got more. Burns got more second place votes, and he ended up with 151 points, only 10 more than second place Zach Wheeler. So it was, pretty close in the end. And then even Scherzer got some first place votes right there with 6. But someone else was correct about something last week that we thought he was wrong about. Vinnie, we told Vinnie, it's like, Jacob DeGrom's not a Cy Young contender this year. Sorry, bud. Oh, guess who was a Cy Young contender this year? Jacob DeGrom, receiving 1 5th place vote, totaling 1 point, which makes Vinny correct. So you can give him his credit back. We tried to discredit him, and now we owe him a serious apology. Vinny was right in his Cy Young contender, Jacob DeGrom.
Well done, Vinny.
Just remember that. I'm always right.
He's always right.
Well,
even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
Guy, so,
real quick before we move on, I just want to say they did announce the AL MVP voting.
Yes,
Shohei Ohtani was the unanimous vote getter for first place. He took all 30 votes for the AL MVP, and then Vlad Guerrero had 29 second place votes.
Yep.
And then for the NL MVP, we have Bryce Harper, who took home 17 first place votes, and Juan Soto came in second behind him. He had 6 first place votes for MVP. So
I did not have Harper. I had Tatis. So
we both had Tatis.
Tatis
I had Soto.
Tatis had 2 first place votes. He had 15 third place votes. That's where his kind of came in.
Harper takes it, huh?
Yeah, didn't see that. I'm kind of surprised. Didn't see that.
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Soto actually. So.
Yeah, 2 MVPs with 2 different teams.
Yeah. And still hasn't won a ring.
Hasn't won a damn thing.
What a shame. All right. Our Bears coverage, we are renaming this segment the Manures of the Midway instead of the Monsters of the Midway. Well done, boys, for coming up with that. It is a bye week, so thankfully the Bears can't lose this week, which is great. I don't think we have
but they did sign what's his name? Was the ex-first Bruce Irvin. They just signed that, so that's some Bears news.
Okay, that's something.
Did he do anything for you guys? He doesn't do anything for me.
No. I'll be honest, I don't even know who that is. So,
never heard of.
Is he related to Michael Irvin? That's like the only thing I can think of.
No.
Damn it! All right. And then last, our Hawks segment, we're going to start calling that the used puck bag segment. And I initially wrote in no major news, so we can skip it. But then Vinnie or Greg, one of you wrote in, they're on a 4-game win streak. You're right. Derek King, the new head coach, has got them on a 4-game win streak. They're looking pretty good. They beat the Seattle Kraken last night. That stadium looks amazing. And also props to the Kraken. Do you know what their goal song is?
No.
This ties back to our 90s music. Their goal song is Lithium by Nirvana because they're in Seattle.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I thought that was a nice tie-in.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to move on. Before we get to our whatever segment, we got a few hot takes here. Greg is going to give us his reactions from the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus trailer teaser thing that was that last week that came out, Greg?
So I wanted to talk about some of the concept art that was released. So, we got a big thing in the Star Wars universe coming our way on Disney Plus right now. We got a lot of retcon. We got Ewan McGregor returning for this 6-part miniseries. So
yeah, that seems really short.
You know what? I'm kind of glad that it is because I kind of want this to be perfect, and I don't want it to be like drawn out too much. I suppose at least at this point, but I think we're due for the spring of 2022. 6-part miniseries just titled Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's been described as a rollicking adventure, whatever that means.
Okay.
So here's what we know, guys. Cast: Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, awesome. Hayden Christensen, not playing Anakin Skywalker, playing Darth Vader. Not Anakin anymore, god damn it.
Thank you. Thank God.
That should be interesting because, guys, what I want to see with Hayden, kind of like what they did in Rogue One, where you see him in like the cryo tube.
Yeah.
And he's like in the liquid. He's got all the things attached
the tubes
to him. I kind of want to see, messed up or like recovering from the Mustafar,
incidents,
100-degree burns or whatever. So I kind of want to see that transformation a little bit. So that's what I'm expecting with that. And then, guys, I love when they kind of stick with continuity. Joel Egerton, who was unknown in episode 2 and 3, has become, a pretty established actor, is returning as Uncle Owen, which is totally awesome.
That's cool.
Nice.
He was in Black Mass, Zero Dark 30, other stuff. Great actor. And then Bonnie Piesse, I don't know. She is playing Aunt Beru, who reprising a role from the prequel trilogy as well. So they're sticking with that right there, which I think is awesome.
I'm just happy the prequel trilogy didn't tank their careers. I mean,
well, they didn't have any. They really have any.
They didn't have one.
Either.
Yeah,
I mean, Joel Egerton had a couple. So really quick, this is taking place 10 years after episode 3, 9 years before episode 4, A New Hope, the original Star Wars. So Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru have some aging to do.
Yes,
they look pretty young right there at the end of episode 3. I'm like, y'all got to get older real quick. Other castings really quick: Moses Ingram, Kumail
Nanjiani, yeah.
Nanjiani, I'm sorry. Yeah, butchering names here.
He's in the new Eternals movie, and he was also in Silicon Valley. If you guys have ever seen that series, that's a really good show. Really good show.
Indira Varma from Game of Thrones, Rupert Friend from Homeland, Ice Cube Jr. from Straight Outta Compton going to be in this. That should be interesting. Sung Kang from Fast and Furious, Simone Kessel, Terra Nova, Benny Safdie,
sure,
Maya Erskine. I've all been confirmed casting. We don't know who they're playing, so if those names do anything for you, we'll see. Always exciting though. James Earl Jones, though, I'm sure he's in a recording studio somewhere.
I hope.
At least he has to be. It's like, come on.
I don't want to hear Hayden Christensen's voice.
No. Yeah. Hopefully James Earl Jones not recording. No.
Yeah.
Somewhere. And then young Luke Skywalker has been confirmed. We just don't know the actor yet, so that should be awesome. Any thoughts on any of those actors, guys?
I really like Sung Kang from the Fast and Furious movies. I think that's an awesome pick. I whenever I think of Kumail Nanjiani, I always think of more of a comedic role, so I'll be curious to see what they have him doing. I mean, like, I'm cautiously optimistic, not because I don't think the show will be good. I think it will. I'm just more concerned about how this is going to kind of retcon certain things. Like in my headcanon, so to speak, like they didn't know that Obi-Wan was there. So for all of a sudden to have him have interactions with Darth Vader and all these other characters that are going to be in the expanded universe, it kind of messes up kind of what I've thought for like the last 30 years of my life seeing Star
Wars.
What
I want to get to, Justin. That's what I want to get to with some of this concept.
All right, let's throw it at me.
I'm going to come back to you on that one. Vinnie, right. Anything on any of these cast members?
No, I don't. It'll be interesting to see how, what roles they're playing and stuff. I mean, they're phenomenal actors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just to see what they'll actually be playing. It'll be very interesting. So I'm excited to see that
for sure.
So quickly covering the timeline again, like I said, it's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, 9 years before A New Hope, kind of in line there with Solo a little bit maybe.
Okay.
So we'll see if that comes into play at all. So like I said, guys, I got some of this concept art that was released, and I think there were 6 to 8 images. I put 6 right here.
Yep.
And I'm sure most of you have seen it. I'll go over some of them quick. We'll start with the elephant in the room, I suppose. It looks like a lightsaber duel between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader on a volcano planet.
Mustafar,
yeah. Obi-Wan riding an Eopai from Tatooine, same as the end of Revenge of the Sith. We also have an image of some stormtroopers in an Imperial base.
Okay.
And another image of some sort of spacecraft, possibly with an Inquisitor.
That's what I was just going to say.
Stormtroopers searching for Obi-Wan. And Justin, I've got to come back to you with the Inquisitors. Okay. I got some questions on that.
Yes.
We have Vader watching a hologram message. And then maybe in the last image, we kind of see some snow speeders possibly in a rebel base. So basing on this artwork, I mean, this all looks fantastic right here. This all looks Star Wars. If they stick to this concept and build sets off of these, I mean, that's incredible. So what I want to start with, guys, like I said, with the elephant in the room, and Justin, you brought it up before. Yeah. Looks like we are getting another lightsaber duel between Darth Vader donning the red lightsaber and Obi-Wan donning his traditional blue on Mustafar. Now you brought up the Star Wars canon, the Star Wars world in your head. And when I saw that, I got excited. But then again, I'm thinking of continuity right here. I'm going to episode 4.
Sure.
In episode 4, the original Star Wars, I think we're meant to believe that this is the first time Obi-Wan and Darth Vader are meeting since the events of Mustafar, now that we've seen the complete series. So what are your thoughts on this potential lightsaber?
That's, I don't know. Like, I keep thinking of A New Hope, which A New Hope is probably my favorite Star Wars movie. It used to be Empire. Now it's more A New Hope. I don't know why, but it's kind of changed. Around. But I jump, and Rogue One's definitely in there too. That's like a 1A, 1B kind of thing. But I was always under the impression, and you're talking to a guy who's read way too many Star Wars novels. I have a bunch sitting upstairs still that I need to read. So the idea that they're going to have this battle, this fight that takes place before they see each other on the Death Star.
It's like a rematch before the rematch.
Yeah, like,
you know,
I'm open to it, but at the same time, like when this is what you've thought for the last so many decades, it having to adjust that is throwing me off a little bit. So, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm open to it. It would be cool to see Hayden Christensen in the suit and Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, like having a much better lightsaber battle than the one in A New Hope, because that is one of the few things about A New Hope that I can't stand, is that
the weaker part. Yeah.
That is such a weak fight. And then he disappears immediately when he's hit. I still have a hard time rationalizing all that in my head, but I don't know. I just hope they don't do like a George Lucas thing where they add all this extra stuff to kind of pad it out and kind of expand the retconning, so to speak. And it's just like, you didn't need to do all this. You know what I mean? Like overkill.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Vinny, do you have similar thoughts, different thoughts on that?
I have different thoughts. I don't know. I'm just thinking about Rogue One, how well they did that.
That's true.
And how well they tied in and closed all the gaps,
the loopholes
that were in. Yep. So I feel like they're gonna do it right. I hope.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. What were you gonna say, Greg?
Oh no, go ahead, Vinny. I'll get to it later. Sorry.
No, I would like to think that they're gonna take the time to get this right. It's only a 6-part series, so you're not trying to fill in all this stuff. So having it being shorter, they should be able to get the details right. But as we've seen with the sequel trilogies, they sometimes they can screw that up. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm optimistic that they'll get it right, and I'm excited for it. So I'm not gonna worry that they're gonna screw something up until they do.
I think like and I think you bring up a good point about it's being 6 episodes. If they do it right, I think every episode is going to be like a really good. It's going to hit really, really well, right? Like I love The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Even in that first season, there was a few episodes. Like there was the one where he crash lands on that like ice thing, and there's all those little alien spiders.
The spider, yeah.
I was just like, this seems like really filler and
an episode.
Yeah, they're not going to have any time to do that with this new Obi-Wan series if it's only 6 episodes, and that's probably it. I think that'll close the arc then, and I don't think we'll have a part 2 like we did with Mandalorian. It doesn't seem like that's the route they want to go. They want to seal up the gaps of things in between in this part of the storyline and then call it a day. So I don't know. The other picture, and not to jump ahead on you, Greg, but the Inquisitor ship looks really cool.
Yes.
I'm really
quick. I was hoping you could kind of you fill us in on the Inquisitors and what their deal is, because you are the Star Wars expert.
I don't know about that. But no, see, I know the Inquisitor stuff came from the Clone Wars cartoon, which I've never really watched. But I know they also did it in the last Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order, which came out 2 years ago. You fight a couple of the Inquisitors. So my understanding
#, video game backlog.
There you go. Greg, you got that's a really good game. You got to play that. And there's a patch it's got PS5 upgrade on it. Anyway, the Inquisitors are literally just like they're agents of the Empire or the Emperor that they're force sensitive. So they're not technically Jedis, but they're like force sensitive. They have lightsabers and they fight. And they just kind of go out. They're sent out to kind of take care of any problems, namely like Jedi problems. If there's a Jedi that they discover, they would dispatch the Inquisitors to go and take them out. And if they're, that's pretty much it. Kind
of like the leftovers from Order 66.
Exactly.
The survivors of that, so to speak.
Exactly right. That's exactly the plan. And then they would send them out. Then they have that specific type of ship. I know is like their ship, so to speak. In that little screenshot you posted. But Yeah, I'm excited about that. And I know the other one I can see, it looks like I see a snow speeder. Yeah, I see snow speeders. So I'm curious.
Yeah, that's going to be cool, I think.
Be curious to see how they use those, if they'll use them as, what would it be called? Like a land speeder then, if they're not on an ice planet, I guess. I don't know. So
unless we get some early construction of the Hoth base. Just like, hey guys, let's build this one just in case,
Yeah, so. In the middle of nowhere on a super cold ass planet. Yeah.
Guys, with me, with all this is like what I call that prime Star Wars era right now, where we're just kind of dying to know what's going on. Like, that's why I really enjoyed Solo, Rogue One. I think this is great ground, and like I said, it's a short series, so I mean, it's got to be tight, it's got to be wrapped up quick. But I think there's just gold to be told right there. And Vinny, like what you said, hope that there's plenty of it's hard to screw this one up, but we knock on wood, we've seen it happen too many times. I'm hoping we get sort of like a this is the best comp I could think of, like kind of like a Galen Erso sort of twist, maybe.
Sure.
Or some kind of something where it's like, oh, that's why the exhaust vent was there. It was, some kind of something along those lines.
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, oh, that was interesting. So I would love to see something like that, and I've got faith. So I wanted to hit on some of the possible cameos quick. I don't know the likelihood of any of these. I thought for me personally, I wrote a bunch of stuff down here, but I kind of hope that the series opens up. I mean, this is how I kind of envisioned it in my head, with Obi-Wan communicating with Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon Jinn.
That would be
Some
cool.
way, somehow, like becoming one with the Force. That's kind of where we left off in Episode 3. He's been on Tatooine with like nothing to do except checking on Luke every now and again.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's kind of like Yoda's homework that he gave him while he's there. So a Liam Neeson cameo for me would be, awesome. But obviously there's so many characters out there that's a possibility. Yep. I hope we get a couple of them at least. So Vinny, what about you? Any cameos that you that they're number one on your list? I think I'd
love to see Samuel L. Jackson back as Mace Windu.
That's why I wrote that one down right there.
Yeah, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one.
Any chance he's an Inquisitor? Could that be a thing? Or if he kind of went that direction, Force-sensitive guy turned evil? I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, I guess everyone just assumed he was dead, right?
Yeah. Just like
trade in the purple lightsaber
he just
for
fell out the window.
He just fell out the window with some electricity.
He flew.
So,
he flew.
Yeah. He could have landed in that diner.
Or a flying
could have landed on a bunch of the younglings or something. I don't know.
Landed in the Destics guy apartment or something.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I don't know. I think Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka, I think is how you pronounce her character's name. I think that's a lock because I think they're making an Ahsoka series, if I'm not mistaken, or it's in the works.
Yeah.
She was in Mandalorian. I mean, she seems like she really has nailed that character. I think that's a possibility. I could also see them trying to shoehorn Diego Luna as Cassian Andor.
Yes, because I know they want to do a series.
Because they're doing a series on that, which I'm cautiously optimistic about that one too.
That might be the most likely one that you bring that up.
Yeah, so. And I know we've talked about this for anyone who's Star Wars fans listening. I think episode 4 of the podcast was all about Star Wars. But yeah, like. I do love the Jedi stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like the military planning of like what the Rebel Alliance is capable of, and that's what they kind of show in Rogue One. His character, I think they could really do some cool stuff with that.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows if he's going to be in this, but I could definitely see it as a way to plug the next little mini series too. So.
Justin, could you touch on the Ben origin, the name Ben Kenobi? Are we gonna finally figure out what this is?
I hope so, because I honestly don't know. I still don't understand where that came from. Like, I want to know, why is he Ben Kenobi?
Where did Ben come?
Where did that come from? Right? Like, am I crazy that I don't know that, or no?
And why did Han Solo name his son Ben? He hated the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, see, that goes against the expanded universe books, because in that series there were three children from Han Solo, but never mind.
Okay. I was going to say, wouldn't it have been maybe Leia's call?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, probably, but she barely knew him too.
But Obi-Wan Kenobi was her.
He was part of the rescue.
Yeah.
But I thought he was only Ben to the people on Tatooine, though.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not quite sure. And I know
you see Bail Organa say, "Go get Obi-Wan." Oh, you mean Ben?
Yeah, what's Jimmy Smits doing these days? Jimmy Smits will be in the show. He could make a cameo.
Get Smitty back in there. He came back for Rogue One. It's like I'm going back to Alderaan. I'm like, right? Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's gonna be gone in a couple days.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be curious to see what they do with that. I do not want Jar Jar Binks to make it. I saw other characters. I do not want Jar Jar Binks anywhere near this.
I was going to get to planet cameos here, so I didn't write it down. But are we gonna return to Naboo?
I sure
where the Gungans have taken over the.
I hope so.
Planet, so
maybe it'll be Darth Jar Jar. Maybe we'll finally get that.
You should not want to go there.
They're gonna retcon that. They're gonna do it. They're gonna go.
No, if they made him a bad guy and a Jedi, a Sith Lord, yes, sign me up.
He's well, I guess it's I was gonna say he can't be the Chancellor now because it is the Empire, in growth, but he's still a senator or something like that.
Shit, I might have to put Star Wars on tonight when I'm on.
There we go,
Maddie tonight.
So other planet cameos, maybe we get a little Yavin 4, a little Alderaan, a little Coruscant with the Emperor doing his stuff over there. Mustafar, looks like we're based on the comms center. It looks like we are returning, and that's where
his base is.
His base is. That's where his sanctuary is.
Why you would build your base on the same planet that almost killed you?
Yeah.
Did they ever explain that in the books?
I don't know. No.
I think Rogue One just kind of brought that back.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Okay.
Which I thought. I think it's cool, but it's just like, it's like you look over the window. I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I got lava over there. So.
See that's where I was burning alive.
That's where my best friend tried to kill me. I'm gonna build my house here. Yeah,
right. Well, maybe that's why he did it to channel his anger. So he looks down there and he gets angry.
That's true.
So the whole planet shakes because of his anger.
Right. He's like, so what did you do, Lord Vader? He's like, I told him I hated him. The best I could think of. So I hate you. So, guys, quick theory. I don't know if this has been around. So since Uncle Owen is going to be a prominent character in this, is there any way he is made aware of Luke's possible destiny? From exposition from Obi-Wan Kenobi, could this have any bearings on why Uncle Owen is trying to keep him around as long as possible without?
I think they totally do that. I think they go that way. I think that's a lock. Yeah,
that'd be good.
Okay,
because it ties in perfectly. Uncle Owen's not the
bad guy. He's not such a dickhead after all.
No, the whole I need you to stay on for another year. These moisture evaporators. No.
Very similar to yours in most respects. You speak bocce? Yeah, I play it too. So, sorry.
All right. Well,
go ahead, Greg. Really quick, guys. I want to wrap up by saying, and I'm sorry to have to do this, but I think I'm at the point now where the sequel trilogy just doesn't count.
Yes, I'm there.
It ends with Return of the Jedi. And any kind of continuations, The Mandalorian.
Yeah, The Mandalorian is after The Mandalorian ends.
Book of Boba Fett coming up.
Yeah, so, there is no sequel trilogy. Let's be realistic.
All right,
and nothing against any of the actors and actresses. It was just so poorly organized and written. Yeah, how you can have 3 sequels and you don't link any of them together with a common thread. You just like the next guy can take over and do what he wants, and then the next person. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But All right. Well, now I'm all jazzed up on Star Wars right now. I'm riding high. All right. Took some spice. Isn't that what they say in Star Wars? Or that might be in the expanded universe. Never mind. All right.
I don't know that one.
That's an expanded universe thing.
That's in the text. The sacred Jedi text. I didn't have you. Well done, Greg. They were not.
All right, we are going to move on to our top 5 80s movies. This is our whatever category. We have plenty of people that wrote in, so thank you very much. Who wants to start us off? Or Greg, do you want to run this? It's up to you.
No, I was just going to say 80s movies. There are millions of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Should we just hit it, boys?
Let's do it.
We just hit it.
Sure. Let's do it.
I'm going to kick us off tonight.
All right, take it away.
Because I'm selfish. I'm a jerk. And guess what I'm going to talk about, guys? I'm going to talk about James Bond.
Damn it.
I figured as much.
Number 5 on the list is a movie no one's ever heard of except the Bond fans. It is 1987's The Living Daylights, starring the illustrious Timothy Dalton in his first round as James Bond, bringing the character back down to earth. Very dark, very gritty, very dangerous performance, much different than the eyebrow-raising Roger Moore. Actually, a very good quality movie. Currently sits number 3 on my favorite Bond movie list right now. Damn. It is a great Cold War spy thriller sort of movie.
That's high praise.
Underrated, just a ton of fun. And Timothy Dalton is just, what Shayla Miller, our friend on Twitter, said, Timothy Dalton ran so Daniel Craig could walk, which is very much true because he developed that style of Bond. So The Living Daylights, 1987. We're talking movies. I'm going to throw in Bond, and you can't stop me. So that's number 5 on my list. It would have been there anyway. But for the sake of variety, I put it there instead of number 1 to show you that I can be accepted in normal society at certain points. So, Vinny, let's switch to you to your number 5 favorite 80s movie. Go.
Okay. I'm going to preface my list by saying I don't have a single holiday movie in there.
I took mine out too.
I didn't do that because I probably could have, and I just didn't feel right having holiday movies in there. So no Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because that's a Thanksgiving movie. Christmas Vacation, Christmas Story, and Die Hard is not on my list because it is a Christmas movie.
Yep.
Some people don't consider that a Christmas movie. I'll never believe that.
Not Christmas without it.
No. Yeah, right. Okay. Number 5 for me. I don't think either of you two have heard of this movie, but this is Strange Brew, starring Rick Moranis and I believe is it Daniel Thomas? Canadian movie.
Oh, what's it called?
Strange Brew?
Strange Brew.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Strange Brew.
Interesting.
I like this.
Yep. It is a very stupid movie. It is hilarious. Doug and Bob McKenzie. Yeah, it's Dave Thomas and I couldn't remember if it was Daniel or Dave. I don't know why I was thinking Daniel, but Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis, Bob and Doug McKenzie. They were like a Canadian skit, but they had this movie out there, and my dad had it, and I watched that when I was younger. It's the stupidest thing. At one point in the movie, they find themselves at a brewery because they ran out of beer, so they go straight to the brewery to get beer. And then there's like this corruption going on at this brewery. I have to watch it again. I haven't seen it in like 10 years. But there's corruption in there, and there's like this plot going on, and these two morons are trying to figure it out. And at one point, Rick Moranis gets locked in a beer vat, and he ends up drinking all of the beer. and they open it up, and he's just expanded to like looking cartoonish, and he goes, "Oh, hold on, I gotta take a whiz." And that was a poor Canadian accent, by the way.
Well done, Vinny.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. But it is a stupid movie. If you ever have a chance to watch it, I recommend it. It's
like
dumb,
it.
but it's lighthearted dumb. So yes, Strange Brew number 5.
Awesome.
Nice.
I might have to check that out.
Strange. Yeah, I love it when there's ones like, oh, I never heard of that one. So that's good stuff. Strange Brew. Good
Very
call.
interesting.
All right, Justin. Cinco.
Oh, man.
Cinco de Mayo.
I have 2 ties on my list, so let me preface that in the first place. I know that kind of circumvents the list.
Oh, you're giving me shit for Bond.
Yeah. Like Vinny, I also didn't put any holiday movies because I think Christmas Vacation, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and A Christmas Story would have taken up half my list. So I took that out. And it just, I don't know, when I think 80s movies, I don't think of those. I just think of holiday movies as those. So, all right. My number 5, I have 2. It's a tie between Back to the Future, which is just a great movie altogether. And then the other one, which is a little bit more of a deeper cut, but I'm sure you guys have seen it. And that is Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams.
Nice.
You guys
have not seen that.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
That's a good
I just know the
movie,
Michael Scott.
Good morning. Was it Nashua? Good morning. No.
No, he said Vietnam.
He did Vietnam when he was trying to teach Dwight how to do speak.
So,
do public speaking.
Good Morning Vietnam. For those that don't know, it's Robin Williams. It takes place during the Vietnam War. He has been, I don't know I can't remember I'm assuming he was drafted. I don't think he enlisted, but he gets over there and he is assigned to run the radio station. I think it's Radio Saigon or Free Radio Saigon for the soldiers so that they have something to listen to. So there's a ton of great music that's played in the movie. And he's kind of a jokester. He's kind of goofing around. And he's also, what gets him in trouble is when the breaking news of what's going on with, the enemy and Charlie and things like that. They have people in the room next to him that are censoring it. So, certain things aren't being told over the air, and he's kind of violating that. So he gets in trouble. Not Al Pacino. Who's the guy from Home Alone? Joe Pesci is in this. A young Joe Pesci is in this movie. A young Forrest Whitaker is in this movie.
Yep.
Oh, wow. And I remember I saw it at a relatively young age, and I didn't know anything about the Vietnam War, but it just kind of also goes into the details of just how messed up that whole situation was for both our soldiers returning and for the people of Vietnam in general, and in both sides, what's going on with that. So highly recommend that. Back to the Future, I don't really think there's a lot to say. That's just a great movie. I love Michael J. Fox. I think that would probably be my favorite Back to the Future. I really liked 2, but I like 1 more now. Yeah, so there's my number 5 is a tie between Good Morning Vietnam and Back to the Future.
Good call.
Yeah,
very nicely done. Switching to the number 4s, and we have plenty of correspondence from our lovely listeners. We'll get to your guys towards the end. Mm-hmm. We'll mention a lot of our honorable mentions from your list.
Those,
because just looking at them, I'm like, I could list, almost all of them at, in some respect. So. But either way, my number 4, and I think I've brought this up before on the podcast, guys, is I got a little bit of an astronaut thing happening.
That's right.
I'm a big fan of the movie The Right Stuff, which was
never saw it.
Really?
I've never even heard of it. No.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Well, let me enlighten you. So this was a story of the it kind of like the beginning of the space race a little bit. It starts off in 1947. Sam Shepard, brilliant performance in this. He plays famous test pilot Chuck Yeager, who broke the sound barrier in 1947. Okay. And, the years pass on or whatever. The Russians launched Mark Gregg Sputnik up into space. And, that kind of kicks off the American versus Russian space race and the selection of the original Mercury 7 astronauts. Played by a lot of famous actors: Scott Glenn, Ed Harris, Dennis Quaid, just to name a few. And it's just, just kind of like that, good old traditional, American, achievement movie, so to speak.
Yeah.
Going through the struggle, launching men into space, all by which, astronauts living in the public eye. I mean, these guys were just test pilots, working on bases, testing out the latest military aircraft. And next thing you know, they're thrown into the public eye where they're deemed American heroes for not really, doing anything quite yet. All by which, it's questioned. The theme is questioned, like, are these really the bravest men when you have the test pilots like Chuck Yeager and Scott Crossfield, who were breaking the records early on, but since they didn't attend college, they weren't considered, to operate the complicated, NASA technologies, even though they were considered the bravest men out of all of them to be launched into orbit. So,
holy cow.
Real interesting movie, great score by Bill Conti, and just one I go back to quite often. So, The Right Stuff, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really a phenomenal film. I think it won or was nominated for Best Picture or something, but I think it was 1983 when it came out. So but the astronauts, a lot of love for the astronauts, especially the early ones. Scott Glenn played Alan Shepard, who many didn't know that he was the only one of the Mercury 7 to have went to the moon. He was also the first man. He was also the first man in space, the first American in space. Many people think it was John Glenn. He was the first one in orbit, but Alan Shepard's flight was 15 minutes. They literally sent him up and he came straight back down 15 minutes later and splashed into the ocean. So, and then was grounded for an ear infection. Years and years later, he found himself on the moon thanks to his buddy, and everyone was against it. So either way, good movie. Definitely check it out if you kind of like that NASA astronaut kind of fun, American achievement movie, if that's your thing. So
nice.
There we go.
Awesome.
Number 4.
Trivia question for you. Bill Conti, do you guys know what great sports movie he also did the score for?
No.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
Rocky.
That, and I was going to say Rookie of the Year.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, I didn't realize
you do Rookie of the Year? That's
really
cool too.
Yeah,
that's really cool
too. Yep. Jeez, holy cow!
But Rocky's not a sports movie. It's a love story, right?
Sure.
It's both. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Paulie. Sorry. Oh wait, we were talking about the Phillies earlier, weren't we? Hey,
yeah.
Paulie, they had the Philly. They got Didi Gregorius, Gene Segura. What do you think, Paulie? There, that's the Phillies fan.
Yo, Adrian. Bryce Harper won the. I don't know.
Wow.
Get Trevor Story.
Just stop. Dear Lord.
That was a Boston accent. I don't know what
that was.
Oh God. As the guy who probably has the strongest Chicago accent on this podcast, I should not be making fun of other accents, but
he's a
all right.
Chicagoan.
Save us, Vinnie.
All right, number 4, Vinnie.
Number 4 for me is Batman.
Oh, good choice.
Love that movie. We talked about that movie a lot on here, but just that, that was Batman for me growing up. I watched that a ton. The Batmobile. I know, Justin, you said that you like the Batmobile grounded in reality.
Yeah, it's still a good one, though.
That was the best Batmobile so far out of any of them. I loved it. I actually hated the one in the Christopher Nolan.
Really?
Did you really?
I hated that one. Yeah,
really? Oh, that's interesting.
Comparing it to the original one.
Oh,
the original one had the bombs, it had the shields, it had everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Batman movie, it's great. So number 4 for me.
Good choice. That's a good one.
Awesome. All right, Justin. Has the list changed since?
My list is locked in. No, this was the easiest part. The final 4 were the ones I had locked from like the get go. So it was just that number 5 that I couldn't settle on one. All right, my number 4. This is arguably one of my favorite movies. I have to thank my friend John who got me. Who told me actually. He and I in band class, we would just constantly recite lines from this movie. And we were only in 7th grade. We probably shouldn't have seen this movie in 7th grade, but that is Coming to America. I love that movie so much. I love the barbershop scenes where they're arguing about Rocky Marciano and Cassius Clay. And, he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. And he's like, well, I'm going to call his mama call him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay, like stuff like that. I just love Arsenio Hall. I don't have much to say about him, but he actually does a nice job. You got James Earl Jones is in it. It's just a very young Samuel L. Jackson plays a robber in that movie and gets his ass kicked by Eddie Murphy. Louis Anderson's in it. He goes on about, I'm washing lettuce right now, but one day I'll be making the French fries. I think he says, I can't remember, but just such a good movie. And McDowell's inside of McDonald's, and having to worry about McDonald's people coming to sue them and stuff like that. I love that movie. Soul Glow. I could go on and on. Kunta Kinte. It's just, I love when the barbershop references Kunta Kinte from Roots, and it's like, oh God, that's probably not the way to go. Definitely a product of the 80s, but I love that movie. It's such a good movie. So that's my number 4.
Did you see the sequel?
I did.
How
it was
that?
Fine. It wasn't necessary, nor was it anywhere near as good as the original. It could have been much worse, but it was okay. I watched it once and I won't be watching it again. I'll put it that way. So yeah. Coming to America. Great movie.
Good stuff.
Nice. I love when he's singing about, good morning to everyone. And someone's like, shut the fuck up from the outside singing out loud. He's like, hello to you too. All right. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Go ahead.
I love your passion, Justin. I gotta say, when it comes through, it comes through, and it's just so heartwarming. So,
thank you.
What are we on? 3s right now, guys? 3. Number 3 for me. I think this one we did sports movies. I think this was one on my list, or at least it should have been. Was Major League?
Good call.
If there was ever a movie that solidified my love for baseball, it was that movie. Saw it at a very young age. Fantastic. Aspired to be Rick Vaughn. Like that was like, yes, that's That's what I want to throw like that guy, you know. I want to show up to camp and have Pepper Leach go and look at this fucking guy.
You played in the California Penal League after junior college, didn't you, Greg?
Wasn't even good. Those players are really good. Like, don't be fooled. Like, there's a lot of bad dudes out there, but they're good at baseball. So
he murdered his wife, but he can throw 95.
Exactly. Hey, major the NFL's not too different.
No, that's true. Right? That's true.
Yeah, just fantastic baseball movie. Great themes, great characters, really well balanced. Willie Mays Hayes, Rick Vaughn, Dennis Haysbert as Pedro Serrano. I love Roger Dorn too. The spring training scenes for me are probably the best parts of that movie when they're all just a bunch of bums and they're showing up and they're sleeping in those barracks.
Those cots. Can you imagine them sleeping in something like that nowadays? That would never fly.
Right. Wouldn't even be sleeping on site, you know. It'd be
the minor leaguers might not even sleep in a room like. Well, the single A might. I don't know.
They might be. They might be sleeping on the field.
They probably take that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was like, oh, you guys get a roof, you know. So I mean, that was that's also the first movie where I learned because when Ed Harris is pitching BP to Serrano. That's like the first time when I learned the glove sign for slider, because I always thought that was when he's coming in with the breaking balls, he signals him that he's going to change up the pitches. And I was like, what does that one mean? It's like, oh, he's going to throw him a juicer or something. I'm like, oh, I'm going to start doing that. That's how I learned that was this thing at a very young age.
Very cool.
That way the catcher doesn't get tripped up. So I do now. I learned out there's like 20 of them, but yeah, who the hell knows? But Major League number 3.
Good choice.
Nice.
Vinny,
number three for me was on my sports list. I think it was number 1. It is Caddyshack.
Yep.
Fantastic movie. I've talked about that before. Every scene in that movie is hilarious, especially with Rodney Dangerfield. When it's that opening scene where he goes into the ball, he's getting balls and stuff like that, and the judge is trying on that hat. Oh, you think you get a hat like this, you get a free cup of soup. Oh, but on you it looks good. He rolls his eyes, looking away. I think I quote that so many times with my dad. Whenever he's wearing something. Oh, but it looks so good on you. Oh boy, that's yeah, that movie's just great. There's not much more I can say outside of that. So number 3, Caddyshack.
Awesome.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, Justin.
All right. I'll be very curious if you guys have this anywhere on your list. My number 3, I'm a huge fan of this actor, gone too soon. And my number 3 is the movie Uncle Buck. I love that movie. It's definitely it toes that line between comedy, but then there's also like the seriousness of the daughter and the mom not getting along and kind of going down a weird path with who she's dating, and her boyfriend Bug, who John Candy just torments, and he's like, Bug, Nat, and then I think he's like, I could squash you, something like that. I do love the line, or I still don't understand the scene, but when he goes into the school to talk with the principal for some reason. And I looked up the quote because the principal has this gigantic mole / wart / I don't know what it is on her face. And he says, "Hi, I'm Buck Melanoma, Molly Russell's wart, not her wart, not her wart. I'm the wart. She's my tumor, my growth, my pimple. I'm Uncle Wart, just old Buck Wart Russell. That's what they call me, or Melanoma." So, and he pulls that off, that scene. The other thing I like too is when he's talking with what's his name, Macaulay Culkin, who plays the little brother or Uncle Buck's nephew, and he asks him if he brushed his teeth, and he's like, I have a friend who works at the crime lab in the police station. They can test to see if you actually brush your teeth or if you just put water over it. And the kid freaks out. And I've used that a couple times on one of my my one nephew who's in kindergarten now, and just to make sure he's brushing his teeth. But great movie. It's also kind of sentimental. That's where our daughter, who passed away a few years ago, her name was Maisie, and that we got that from watching Uncle Buck. So we were watching that, and that's where we got that name. So that is my number 3, Uncle Buck, good old John Candy. So there you go.
Excellent. Number 2s. Here we go, guys.
All right, it's getting serious now.
Getting real serious right here. Okay, number 2 for me was mentioned before by Vinny. Number 2 is Batman 1989, Michael Keaton. That scene where he gets that thug on the roof. What are you? Batman. Scene absolutely changed my life. I was like, that is arguably the coolest thing I've ever seen. He just disappears.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh God. Movie is so dark. Jack Nicholson is the Joker. Fantastic. Michael Keaton, my favorite Batman. It's just just go back to that one every time. And when we talked to Bill Koenig too, he had great insight on it.
Yes, he did.
Great to learn even more. And a guy who experienced there in theaters made me appreciate it. It's like, it's like kind of one of those things like I wish I could have been there,
Yeah.
So Batman for me is one I'll watch at any time. The original. So.
Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts. Right? Yeah. Especially when it's retconned in Seinfeld.
Yeah, so. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
With the Rosses. So
that's right.
Another shout out to the guy who played Alexander Knox. I forget the actor's name. Was it Robert Wool or something?
That sounds right.
Yeah. He was, I don't know what happened to him, but he was also he was kind of like the comic relief in that.
Yeah.
In that movie. I kind of liked his character and Lieutenant Eckhart, Porkins.
Yes.
They say he can't be killed. They say he drinks blood. He goes, I say you're full of shit, Knox. Oh, you can quote me on that. He flings his cigar. And I'm like, damn, ruthless. I'm like, I thought that guy crashed into a deflection tower.
He did.
Not, so
I can hold it.
Oh no, he crashed. Yeah, he crashed into the. Whatever happened to him? Getting back to Star Wars, like what happened? Was the X-wing hit and then he just lost engine control?
I think it was hitting the engines and then the engine went out and then I think that was it.
I know I've brought this up before too, but Biggs told him to eject. Where is he ejecting it to?
I know,
on the surface of the Death Star. That's
I was going to say in
fucked either way.
As far as I know, I'm going to have to refer to my. Oh God, I'm such a fucking nerd. I'm going to have to I'm going to have to refer to my encyclopedia of Star Wars vehicles and see if the X-wing even has an ejector pod. I don't think it does, but I could be wrong.
Because it's got to enclose you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. I had the official vehicle as a kid, and there was no ejection pod. It was just you open the blast canopy and you put the guy in. So
I was going to say, okay, all right. Well,
I take this very seriously.
We're gonna revisit this one, but in the time's sake, let's continue the list.
Yeah.
Vinny has to bail us out once again with his number 2 favorite 80s movie. Go ahead, Vinny.
Number 2. Vacation, National Lampoon Vacation.
Yes, good one.
Awesome.
Absolutely love that one. There's a lot of good scenes in it, especially when with John Candy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Park's closed. Moose outside should have told you. Yeah.
Russ Lasky was his name, right? I think that's what it is in the credits. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Having a bad experience on the roller coaster. But yeah. And just, having a family, I can't imagine trying to take them across country and just, no, that would just sound
scarily relatable. Yeah.
Yes, it just sounds painful, but he was all for it and all excited for it. It's like, no, like, why would you want to drive across country? Oh, that just sounds painful to do that. But whatever. Clark Griswold's the last family man, right?
Yeah, that, as it was said in Christmas Vacation, you're the last family man, Griswold. So I didn't know Harold Ramis was the voice of Marty Moose. Did you guys know that?
Was he really?
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
He directed it, but he also provided the voice for him, which I thought was interesting. So
I did not know that.
But that does driving cross country with your family, and I love when he loses it too after they drop off and I think you're all fucked in the head.
Exactly.
You're whipping zippity doo out of your assholes. that is just I think I still like the Christmas Vacation one, that one better. But, Vacation is such a great movie.
Yep.
That's an old wives' tale, Clark. I'm telling. John Candy. getting shot with a BB gun.
Yeah,
right.
I love Ellen's reaction to when he shoots him in the ass. Clark.
Yeah. It can break the skin and cause a very bad infection. No,
this is our family's first kidnapping. No,
yeah, our first gun.
First gun. Sorry, that's it.
Killed everyone. Oh, just a dog. Yeah. Oh, and my Aunt Edna. Hey, yeah. You can't prove that, Rusty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, all right. Moving on. Number 2, Justin.
All right. My number 2. This is a movie. Anytime it's on, I will happily sit down and watch it, no matter where it's at. And that is The Burbs. I love that movie with a passion.
Nice. Sweet.
I love that movie so much.
That might be too scary for you.
No.
I was gonna say I was a little surprised too, Vinny.
I remember that was a horror movie. Like, this is a deep cut. But do you guys remember like TBS dinner and a movie on like Friday nights?
Yep.
When I was a kid, that was like one that was always on. So I remember always watching that and just loving that movie. I always joke with Erica that we are like the Klopex next door because we just we open our garage and pull the car right in and close it. We never really talk to our neighbors that much. But yeah, like I love the different actors. I love the neighbors, that whole mentality of like, watching what your neighbors are doing. I'm guilty of looking outside and being like, oh, what's that person doing? Why are they doing that? I wouldn't do it that way. And then obviously just like totally flipping the script at the end where it's like, oh, you feel so horrible. They blew these people's house up. There was nothing wrong. And then you find out they were horrible, horrible murderers and they have all these things and bones and things. Bruce McGovern, I love his character in that movie. Just them setting up the command post next door. And you got Corey Feldman as the weirdo teenager that's like having a house party so that everyone can watch what his neighbors are doing. And just a great movie. I love that movie so much. Tom Hanks and Princess Leia, Carrie
Fisher.
Carrie Fisher's in that too. Yeah. So there you go. That's my number 2.
I was gonna say that's another shocker.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, I didn't see. I knew you liked it. I didn't see that making the list, but I'm glad.
Yeah, there's just I love when Tom Hanks freaks out, on the neighbors, and he's like, they're just trying to live their lives. Leave them alone. We're the problem. We're the ones that creeping people out.
I have a funny story about The Burbs really quick. Like I saw that movie several times as a kid without knowing what it was.
Really?
Without knowing the title. Mm-hmm. So it was a discovery, and I only discovered it much later in life because I couldn't, like Wikipedia it at the time. I'm like, what is this movie? It is so much fun.
Yeah. And
then later I'm like, oh, The Burbs. That's what. Then I put 2. It was almost like I had to put 2 and 2 and 2 together. I'm like, oh, so finally, that's what I watched it at least 2 or 3 times. Yeah. On like television when it was on WGN or something.
Yeah. Oh, it was WGN used to have great movies on like Sunday afternoons. Yeah.
Exactly. That's probably where I watched it. I'm like, what? I'd always catch it like right after, kind of like maybe 2/3 or like a third into it or something like that. So. It was just like finally almost like a revelation later. Like The Burbs, that's what this mystery movie was for so many years. So. All right, is this the final stretch here, guys? Number 1 for me, very appropriate for our earlier segment. Number 1 for me is The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, good choice.
Star
Not
Wars,
shocked at all.
The Empire Strikes Back. My first Star Wars movie that I've ever saw. On the VHS, I went through the whole deal that was recorded off of ABC or whatever. Just amazing, just blown away. Han Solo going to rescue him on Tatooine, Luke versus Luke, I am your father. Everything. Just my favorite. Is it my favorite Star Wars movie? It's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. It's my favorite 80s movie. So there you go. There's nothing. I mean, you guys know the.
Greg, do you remember what they mine on Bespin in the Cloud City?
Tabana gas.
Very good. Well done.
Thank you very much. Which was your trivia question?
Yes.
You won.
I called in on the radio station.
You won. Oh, hold on. You won. Did you win a Blu-ray or something? Or
no, I won a PSP UMD.
A PSP.
Oh, that's right.
What it was.
Predator. Yes. And then I think they gave me the Revenge of the Sith DVD too.
Oh, okay.
Why I got the PSP thing, I don't know.
It's a throwaway. It's a throwaway line when the Star Destroyer does his garbage dump, or right before the garbage dump, and then they're looking at Lando system. He's not a system. He's a
person. Yeah.
So
great
Lando Calrissian, what a
Billy D. Williams killing it, absolutely killing it. So
yeah, and just definitely the dark turn, because it's very like it's weird watching A New Hope.
Yeah,
after Empire Strikes Back for the first time, I'm like, wow, this is much more lighthearted and fun. Where Irvin Kershner
dark middle trilogy
took the Empire, that middle part, and just turned it into like a dark, kind of tragedy movie. Or I mean, Han Solo getting frozen. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Frozen in car, the introduction of Boba Fett.
Boba Fett too.
Dengar and Bosk, and
just think about that for a second. Just almost a minor character, in the 80s that George Lucas created. Like, we needed a bounty hunter.
He's got a cool helmet and a jetpack, and that's it. Yeah,
that's the power of Star Wars, man. This guy has a fucking show now coming out in a month.
Yeah,
look what Star Wars does, man. Look at George Lucas, an insane genius, crazy person. This random ass character. We're getting excited for a show about this guy. It's gonna be the best thing ever.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just
it sure is hell better.
It's just mind blowing sometimes. So, and just, I mean, what am I going to say that's not already been said? It's arguably the greatest Star Wars movie ever made. So, number one for me, The Empire Strikes Back, and it was, when we came up with the subject, it was the first thing to get locked in. So there we go.
Nice.
All right,
go ahead, Vinny.
Number one for me is actually two movies. I'm cheating. It is, Justin mentioned this one earlier. It is Back to the Future 1 and 2. I absolutely loved those movies growing up. I watched them nonstop every day that I could. I mean, Marty McFly, Doc Brown, great characters. The DeLorean is one of the cars.
Such a cool car.
Yep, that is on my like bucket or wish list of cars. If I ever win the lottery, I'm buying one of those. Lee Iacocca's failed experiment, by the way, right, Justin?
That's right.
But yeah, those movies were just absolutely fantastic, well written. I don't know what else to say. The stories on them are great. Just when they go back or go into the future, not back to the future, go into the future on the second one, and just all the different stuff that they have. I wish we had like half of those. Yeah,
we really got screwed.
We really did. But I always wanted a hoverboard.
Me too.
Growing up, I would always pretend that I had one and stuff, but. Yep, Back to Future 1 and 2. That was my childhood. Those movies are number one on my list. So
awesome. Great call. Yeah, I completely forgot about Back to the Future 2 that takes place in the 80s too. I think it was the third one that took place in the 90s, right? Isn't it like 90, 91? The third one came out.
Oh, it might have been.
Yeah, it came out. Yeah. I think the second one came out in 89, and the third one came out the year after, and that was 90.
I feel like the third one is definitely the weakest, but it's not that bad. I know it gets a bad rap. It gets
actually the third one was probably my favorite growing up.
Okay, I do like that.
I like the trains and the Western. Yeah, like that. And although my sister says that it's the worst one, I think it's actually pretty solid. So
yeah, good call. Very good call.
Awesome. And the finale is
all right. Here we go.
Number one.
I, like Vinny, have two movies at my number one. I cheated as well.
So you guys have total of like 7 or 8 movies that were
there's 5.
That would be Justin. I have
okay.
I have 6 for mine.
Oh shit. Yeah.
If you guys don't stop, I'm going to start naming Bond movies here. No. So proceed with caution.
All right. Next time we do a top 5, I'm cutting it. I'm going to do 4 just to be safe.
You owe me one. So.
You can have my 5.
You owe me a slot.
Yes.
So. Yep.
All right. Well, my number 1 is a tie. First off, just like Greg, Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
What can I say? As much as I don't know if this is a good thing to admit, but Star Wars is such a big part of my life. I know that sounds very silly that a movie series is like that, but sci-fi, reading books, video games. We bought. My daughter has a Baby Yoda hoodie, or not hoodie, sweatshirt that I saw it. I'm like, she has to wear this, and she doesn't even know what Star Wars is, let alone she probably doesn't even know her name yet. But we'll get there in time. I don't really have anything else to say. Lando Calrissian is an awesome character. Boba Fett's great. You find out that Luke is the son of Darth Vader at the end. Bespin, I love the Cloud City. I love, again, going back to my fascination with the vehicles and starfighters and stuff. I love the Bespin cloud cars, the twin cars, the orange things. I don't know the purpose of why there's two cars together, but I love that. So that's why Empire Strikes Back is number one.
You can fly those in Star Wars Rebel Strike for the GameCube.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah, that's a ship option.
I did not know that.
I wouldn't recommend it, but
no,
it's there.
Yeah.
All right. Do you know really quick? Do you guys know the story of how Mark Hamill found out about the Darth Vader line? I have to send you guys that.
No,
because I've seen the story is consistent through many of his interviews and the Empire of Dreams documentary, which I highly recommend
watch that. Yeah,
for everyone. That is a great. I cannot say great. I'm not a documentary guy because they suck, but I mean that is a great documentary. So I definitely recommend you check that one. I don't even watch the Bond documentaries because they suck, but because they're wrong. Yeah, definitely check that out. The story of that whole thing on how that went down is hilarious. And I'll send you guys something later, but yeah, that's something I wanted to throw in there. But awesome. Anyway,
well, my tie, which I'm sure you guys know this already, because this is my favorite movie of all time, and that is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I love that movie with a passion. I know I've talked about that ad nauseum before. Just being in Chicago, I know people in Chicago get mad when people like me say this, but being from Chicago, even though I was from the suburbs, yeah, like it's such a great highlight of all the things to do in the city. I remember, I think after college, Erica and I went out with our friends John and Missy. John, the same one that I goofed around in band talking about Coming to America with, and we tried to hit all the things that they do in Ferris Bueller. We went to the art museum. I don't know if it was closed or something was going on there. So we went the Art Institute. So we went to the Museum of Modern Art, which was kind of interesting. They had like a wall of fungus and somebody called that art. So that was kind of cool to take the place. We went to the Sears Tower, did the Sky Deck. We did not eat pancreas at Chez Louis. We went somewhere. I think we went somewhere else, but, just totally fun. Like that movie is just.
You didn't pose as Abe Froman.
I did not pose as Abe Froman.
Sausage King of Chicago.
Mr. Froman, Sergeant Peterson, Chicago Police.
There you go.
Is that good? That was easier because that was a really strong Chicago accent. Oh,
it's Cameron Fry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cameron Fry was me as a child, just always worrying about everything. I did like he had a Red Wings jersey. They go to Wrigley Field. I mean, being a Cubs fan growing up, there's just so many good memories. And again, talking about Greg, you mentioning like WGN, the main news station out here. I remember that was like one of the first times I saw that was on like a WGN Sunday afternoon movie, not knowing what it was and just being blown away and being scared that that's what gym class was going to be like, making you run laps. I don't think I ever ran laps in gym class.
Lake Forest High School, I believe. Some people thought it was New Trier, but it's actually Lake Forest High School, I think. So yeah. Or Glenbrook? Maybe it was Glenbrook. I don't know. It wasn't my high school.
It's all those rich North Side people.
Right.
It wasn't
my high school South Side. So really quick, Justin, you said Cameron Fry's Red Wing jersey. You remember what player that was?
Gordie Howe.
Yeah, very nice. Number 9.
Yep.
Well done.
That's there's not much else to say. Deep cut. The one mechanic that takes the car for a joyride. Did you know he is also in the Super Mario Brothers movie as one of the goons with Bowser?
Is he really?
That's the only other thing I've ever seen him in.
He's also in Platoon.
Oh, see, I've never seen Platoon.
Yeah.
So
he's one of the well, I won't spoil it for you. So
all right.
And I've told you the story many times. The other whatchamacallit, the other car rental guy, I went to school with his son. So
nice.
The son was a jerk,
so not nice. What a dick.
Anyway,
all right, should we get to the other people that wrote in, because we are really long here.
Your top 80s movies, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Kick us off, Justin.
All right, Glenn, former coworker of mine. He's an amazing guy, huge White Sox fan and Bears fan and Blackhawks fan too. He wrote in Empire Strikes Back, Caddyshack, Blues Brothers, which was not on any of our lists. That's a movie I've seen once.
Yeah,
it's fine. I like the music. I like the music of it.
Yeah.
Driving by Statesville occasionally, being out near Joliet creeps me out. But he also said Long Riders, which I looked up because I didn't know what Long Riders in. That's a 1980 movie. It's got Stacy Keach. It was produced by Stacy Keach and James Keach. It's got Dennis Quaid in it and David Carradine. And I believe it deals with being with Jesse James, and there's some bank robberies and things like that going on out in the wilderness. So that was that one.
So that's not like that bicycle movie, is it?
That's Easy Rider.
No, not Easy Rider. There's like another coming of age movie with Dennis Quaid in it, and there's like I can't remember the movie.
No, it's definitely not.
Anywho,
that, so.
Ignore me.
All right, who wants to go next? Vinny, go ahead.
Greg?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Vinny.
All right. Zach writes in Bull Durham, Stand By Me, Full Metal Jacket, which was one of my honorable mentions.
Same.
Airplane, Suburbia. I don't remember Suburbia.
No, I had to look that up. That was from 1983. It says, when household tensions and a sense of worthlessness overcome Evan, he can find escape when he clings with the orphans of a throwaway society. So, yeah, I guess Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers is in it, oddly enough. I'm looking at that right there. But apparently something happened where there was a little bit of control from the producers where they kind of overrode what the director wanted in it. That's what he was telling me on Facebook. So thank you, Zach.
Interesting.
Flea was also in Back to the Future.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Needles, right?
Played Needles, yep.
Ellen writes in with Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Honorable mention for me.
Yep. Same here.
Stand By Me, Uncle Buck, Goonies, Ghostbusters, which my kids are now in love with the original Ghostbusters.
That's awesome.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I had Goonies and Ghostbusters as
I had Ghostbusters in Breakfast Club, honorable mention. Same thing with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. 16 Candles is really good. Stand By Me is one that I really liked too. If it's the movie I'm thinking of, it's a teacher movie, I believe, right? With Edward James Olmos. I can't. Maybe I'm misremembering that.
That's the teacher. No, that's Stand By Me. Isn't that?
Stand By Me is the one with the 4 kids, right? Stephen King. Okay,
Stephen
and that
King,
is not what I'm thinking of. Never mind. I'm thinking of Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman. That's a good 80s movie too, where he's a teacher.
Okay.
Principal. He's a principal. All right, go ahead, Greg.
Erica writes in with The Burbs, Adventures in Babysitting, and Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
She loves
That's a good
that.
one.
She loves that movie.
I don't know. Adventures in Babysitting. Which one is
That's
that
a great movie. I love that one.
It takes place in
Chicago too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I believe it's Elizabeth
I've seen parts of it.
I think it's Elizabeth Shue. She has to go downtown. Something's going on. Then their car gets messed up, and then they're trying to get the car back. And then there's some unsavory people they got to deal with. And it's just like an adventure movie, literally, because of the title. But it's a good 80s movie. So Weekend at Bernie's. Erica, when we had DirecTV, she had that recorded on the DVR, and that was her go-to movie when she wanted to take a nap. She would put Weekend at Bernie's on. So there you go. All right, Melissa wrote in. She said Breakfast Club, great movie. Heathers, I have never seen Heathers, but I've heard of it. Beetlejuice is another one. I remember I had the Beetlejuice action figures as a kid. Dead Poet Society, that's a very good movie, very dark. Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Princess Bride, I think I've only seen once. Clue is a movie we used to teach in 8th grade language arts. We would teach the Agatha Christie movie, Agatha Christie novel, and then there were none. And we would show the kids Clue afterwards because it's similar. And that's a great movie. Better Off Dead, I've heard of. And she also loves Ghostbusters 2, which I have talked to her numerous times. Not a great movie.
It's a good movie. Stop it, Justin.
See, I thought I got mixed up. So, Vinny, I thought, okay, my bad. I thought you hated it, Vinny, and Justin.
No, I'm the one that doesn't like it.
It's the other way.
That's Justin.
Okay.
Pink slime? Come on. All right. Well, we don't need to rehash this. Anyway.
What's wrong with pink slime?
I love seeing Vinny's
pink
eyes
slime, green slime, and it's all the same.
Sure.
Blue jacket, green jacket.
Who gives a shit?
Perfect. See, this guy knows what same thing going on in my head. So.
All right. Go ahead, Greg. Take Sean's or Vinny, whoever's turn it is.
Go ahead, Vinny.
I think it's mine.
Go ahead, Vinny.
Sean writes in Blues Brothers, Ghostbusters, Back to the Futures. So I'm guessing he means 1 and
all
2.
3. Yeah, or all 2. Yeah, both of them.
Yep. Ferris Bueller, honorable mention for me. Breakfast Club, Roadhouse, if you're going cheesy 80s, and License to Drive. And the first 3 Indiana Jones movies.
We don't talk about the fourth one. The fourth one was the one I saw that was the first Indiana Jones movie I ever saw.
That was the first one you saw?
Wow. Yes, Crystal Skull. Rooted.
Wow.
But then
mine was Temple.
Temple of Doom is actually my favorite. I don't know why. That's my favorite. But yeah, no, I saw Crystal Skull and I'm like, this is not good, or it's okay, but I've heard the originals were better. And I think my mom bought me the box set for Christmas like that year. So License to Drive, fun fact, and Vinny, you're going to think this is definitely me. I remember I saw that movie when I was very little, and there's the scene where he's in with the instructor in the car and the instructor's just yelling at him and screaming at him about he's doing such a bad job. I was so scared. That's what it was going to be like to get my license.
That makes sense.
Thankfully though, I got an A in driver's ed.
You relate everything to movies.
Yes. So I did not have to take my driver's ed test. I had a waiver. So all right.
Take one more, Vinny.
Okay. Chris wrote in by the decades list. In 1980, he had Caddyshack, 1981, Stripes, 1982, Rocky 3, 82 at Rocky 3, 83, Scarface. 84 Footloose, 85 Breakfast Club, 86 Ferris Bueller, 87 Good Morning Vietnam, 88 Coming to America, and 89 Weekend at Bernie's. That's amazing.
That is a hell of a decade.
Dude, Chris always comes through with like the years and the order and everything. Like,
yeah,
he's
fun,
on point.
Fun fact, I was in the Footloose musical when I was in high school. I don't know if you guys knew that about me.
This is like the Justin Reveal podcast.
Yeah, is this the singing and dancing?
Singing and dancing. There's a tape. No, I was in the musical. I played the bad guy, or one of the bad guys that was like the jerk boyfriend or jerk boyfriend's friend. I can't remember.
This is incredible.
I had to sing songs and we had to choreograph stuff. Yeah, I was in. I need to
see this video.
Years.
I think Greg and I needed to watch it and then have a reaction video too.
Oh, there you go. That can be the YouTube,
a review.
YouTube. Or shit, you need to just stream it to YouTube, and then you can have it'd be like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say Pretzel Vince from the text line writes in. Number 1, Das Boot in German. Number 2, Weekend at a lot of Weekend at Bernier. Is that a different? Is that
it might be an autocorrect?
It was Weekend at Bernie's. He's bad at texting.
Okay. Number 3, Caddyshack. Number 4, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Number 5, Stripes. And I like the honorable mentions right here because I didn't know some of these.
Yeah.
Batman was on Pretzel Vince's.
I'm surprised
honorable
on that
mentions.
One.
Yeah.
I love that call right there. The Untouchables. That's a
good movie.
Fucking beautiful. Don't get me started on Sean Connery. Put one of yours in the hospital. You put one of them in the morgue. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for Major League. 5 Fast Times at Richmond's High.
Great
and
movie.
For some reason, he went 6A and 6B when he could have gone 6-7. But Glory is a fantastic movie, and that is definitely an honorable mention for me. I love that movie, and Matthew Broderick is underrated in that movie, I will say. So
that was great. I saw that in school. That was great.
I did too.
Oh, wow.
I did too.
Nice.
I absolutely did. And I was a junior. I'm like, this movie's amazing.
Yeah.
So and then another fantastic war movie. My favorite war movie is Platoon. So
very nice.
And I sent my top 5 without my name. Sorry. So, Pretzel Vince is his name, right?
Did you guys Did you guys ever see Das Boot?
No, I have not.
It's good. You have to watch it in German.
I don't think I watched it because there was a dubbed version, right?
Yeah, there is a dubbed version.
Yeah, that's what I saw. So
yeah,
okay.
I've seen it, the German one. It's fantastic. You know the lead guy, the U-boat captain in it, was also in. I was gonna say Strange Brew. That's not correct. Beer Fest. You guys remember that movie?
Yes,
I remember Beer Fest. Yeah,
they actually had a callback to Das Boot. Do you remember that when they're?
I don't remember that movie so much, but
they're spying on the restaurant after they get the beer recipe, and the Germans are spying on the restaurant, and he has a callback to that where he's like, "Oh, I don't like being in a submarine because I once had a bad experience in it," or
That's
something
amazing.
along the lines of that, where they had a callback to a super serious movie, which was great.
Interesting.
Awesome.
All right. Our guys over at the Two Jocks and a Schlub podcast, highly recommend them. They said Ferris Bueller and Blues Brothers. So well done, guys. Nice. I agree with that.
Yep.
Vinny, you want to take the next one?
Yep. The Fired Up podcast had Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Great movie.
I think I've told this story. My buddy brought that over, or we watched that. He introduced us to that. And then he brought over Napoleon Dynamite. And he's like, this movie is just as good as Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And I was like, after that, I did not take movie advice from him anymore.
Yeah.
The Intercept Your Lunch podcast says Rocky 3 and Rocky 4.
Rocky 4 was on my honorable mention.
Director's cut.
I've heard that's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what he added, but I heard they took out the robot. They took out what's his name's robot. All right. Jay Bird from the Tux line said Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, The Great Outdoors, also good. Hoosiers, Untouchables, Glory, Full Metal Jacket, and Heartbreak Ridge. Thank you, Jay Bird. All right. Vinny, go ahead.
Lynn writes in Stripes, Ghostbusters, National Lampoon's Vacation, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Little Shop of Horrors, Field of Dreams, American Tale.
That's not Fievel Goes West, is it?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Okay.
I don't know. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and
that's a good one.
Back to the Future, and Turner and Hooch. I forgot that one was a movie. Yeah. That's a good one.
Very good. I know they have a new Turner and Hooch TV show, I think, on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet, but
they do.
I have not watched it either.
All right. I guess I can take this last one since this is from my mom, Robin. She wrote in Big. I know she is a huge fan of the movie Big. She loves that movie. 16 Candles, which was also on my list. Ferris Bueller, Field of Dreams, Steel Magnolias, which I have never seen. Rain Man, which I have seen. That's a good movie. Risky Business is another movie I have never seen. Some Kind of Wonderful, which I had never even heard of. That's a movie with Eric Stoltz and Leah Thompson. And it looks like they're friends, and there's a popular girl they're trying to get a date with this popular girl, kind of like a coming of age story. And then lastly, she said The Karate Kid and Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie.
Yeah.
So that's a callback there. All right. So yeah, we're done. That's it. You guys got anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
I had a couple honorable mentions that weren't mentioned. I had Wall Street, fantastic movie. Lethal Weapon, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back. I didn't have on my list. You guys both did, but yeah, that was an honorable mention. I probably could have snuck in at 5, but I figured I'd throw Strange Brew in there because I figured none of you guys would have had that one. And then also the Terminator.
Oh yeah.
Good call.
It's a good one.
So,
yep. Greg, what about you? Any other honorable mentions?
Another one I know I've brought it up before, but Midnight Run. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie with Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. Kind of like a buddy comedy crime thriller sort of movie. Just go check that one out if you got nothing else to watch or something. That is an underrated movie. A lot of fun, crazy adventure, and just kind of like a good buddy tale. So.
Awesome. Most of my honorable mentions were mentioned. Batman and Return of the Jedi was on there, and a bunch of others. But the 3 that weren't mentioned, Summer Rental with John Candy is a great 80s movie.
Oh yeah,
love that movie. Rick Torn's in it as well. Plays a kind of a pirate restaurant owner, I guess you would say. I don't know how else you can call that one. And then my other 2 are they are my favorite 80s Schwarzenegger movies, and that is Running Man and Commando. I love those movies with a passion.
Okay.
Commando's probably got the best one-liners. Running Man I just love because it's got what's his name from Family Feud in it, and the whole game show aspect of it. My buddy Greg and I, every once in a while, we'll have Arnold days in the summer when we're both off, and we'll just watch back to back Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and those 2 are always on our list. So
nice.
Let off some steam. Is from
all right.
All right. So there you go. That's our top 5 80s movies. We are done. Thank you for listening. If you have feedback, if you want to tell us your 80s movies, if you didn't get it in, email us at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com or baseballandwhatever podcast at bellyupsports.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/baseballandwhatever. Tweet us at Baseball and What. Don't forget the new and highly well done text line is fully operational. You can also leave voicemails. That is 913-808-3278 or 913-808-FART. There we go. I knew that was coming. So be sure to tune in next week. I think we're going to do something Thanksgiving related, right, guys? We're still working
oriented.
Yeah, something along those
lines.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah. Can we have like
a Bond
instead of a turkey? We can cook a Minnock or something. No, nothing. You guys know what a Minnock is?
Very stringy, aren't they?
Yeah, I would imagine so.
They live on large asteroids in caves.
And they suck the electricity out of the batteries.
Yeah, chewing on the power lines.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm going to stop showing off my nerdiness there. Thank you guys for listening. Feel free to tune in next week. Let us know what you think. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review if you like our show. That really helps us move up in the rankings so that we can get more listeners. And yeah, that's all I got. If you're on YouTube, make sure you go and search YouTube Baseball and Whatever. Subscribe to our channel. You got all the video versions if you want to see our glowing faces when we discuss these things. And that's it. So have a great weekend. We will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
See ya.